Sorry, we accidentally started a quest while I was roaming around idly. I saw a wolf and I was like, oh, I should heal that wolf. So I did. And it was a quest. Who knew? By the way, what is it, Corrales? Lunch was good. Thank you for asking. So, what the hell's going on here? There's this wolf. It's actually a druid. Oh my gosh. I am a messenger from the Circle of Swords of Neverwinter Wood, sent to find one of the Circle of the Mare. I picked up your scent, the scent of the Maiden's Glade outside of these city's walls, and against my instinct I tried to come and find you. In my animal form I was wounded by the guards and left here. I barely had the will to heal my own wounds, or even shift out of this form. Left any longer, I would be dead now. It's a strange thing, but as we come close to the mirror, it becomes more and more difficult to shift back from beast to human and back again. Huh. Maybe you'll remember that next time you run into a city of armed guards. Anyways, why were you looking for us? Whatever comes from the mare, it comes for Neverwinter Wood as well. It was thought the Circle of the Mare would know more of what strikes at us. I'd hoped to find Vashni or Neavin, but you're the only one I've been able to find. Oh, we found another in the Maiden's Glade, Kalile, and he said that the Circle of Mare was lost. But you would know if it's true or not. How is it you don't know the fate of your circle? I've been away for some time, and my speaking with the elders, well, it's been over a year since we were in the same place. As for the troubles in my land, we suspect it may be tied to this one I am traveling with, and then you can interrupt her and say, the shards I'm carrying. Or, and we need to investigate it more before we say anything for certain. Or, and it's not something we should discuss with strangers. Or, and it does not involve any blood-drenched druids that we barely know. Yeah, go ahead, Corrales, sure. Why not? Let's investigate more. The more everyone knows, the better we'll be. That's a naive assumption. It's not your choice anyways. I just lost influence with her for that. Fine, here. Shards. I failed to see how one could affect the other, but I'm not one of the elders. I'll keep hunting for others of the mare as ordered. What's funny is this really doesn't actually have anything to do with the shards, although it is tangentially connected. Hey, look, they're actually adding main quests in fall. If you would speak to them, travel to the Sky Mirror, use its power to contact them. Where's the Sky Mirror? Well, it's not far from Neverwinter, but you'll need me to guide you. It's impossible to find the path without one of the Mare to guide you. Can you safely make your way out of the city? Yes, I can, and your concern is welcome. Thank you for saving me, Elena of the Mirror, and the one you travel with. With my wounds tended, I may continue to journey far from the city. Farewell, and travel to the Sky Mirror. Tell the elders of the Circle of Swords what you know. That's not actually a blood druid. That's just a druid who has been bloodied by the guard. Slight difference. You know, honestly, I don't know Dakota. I've never started as a druid in this game. So I don't know. Well, joining the City Watch or the local Thieves Guild is important, but let's go deal with the druids first, shall we? Make sure to voot if you haven't. Doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle.
This is the place. The Sky Mirror is ahead, but there are challenges we must face. The path to the Sky Mirror is a difficult path for anyone not of the Circle to walk, and it is also sealed against any who might accidentally stray near its waters, both for their protection and those of the Circle.
I'm not sure I have one, Fiendish. Druids exist. So what is the Sky Mirror again?
The Sky Mirror is a powerful scrying device, capable of speaking to others who have touched its waters. It takes magic of the land to open the tides of the Sky Mirror. We may need to rest, so I can cast the magic required. The challenge changes with every turning of the season, and so do the wards. I won't know the challenges until we come upon them.
Alright, anything we should worry about?
You should know that these paths are meant to only be walked with one of the Circle. Those that come here without such a guide, this place, it is still filled with those that have wandered into these sacred woods and could not escape. They live still, but only as reflections of themselves. Try to avoid them, but if we cannot, then be prepared to fight. And the Sky Mirror itself has given rise to guardians as well. Creatures of the water.
Right. This sounds like a nice place. Hey, you robed here accidentally. Now suffer for the rest of eternity.
Very well. Be on your guard. We are still a ways from our destination, and the path is a long one.
Right.
Dabra.
I agree. Dabra. Dabra and Tenabra at Janabra. It's basically to make it a finite resource. That's the real logic, Dakota. I mean, in lore, you're basically putting a bit of your knowledge and memory into it, which literally means draining your experience. But in gameplay, it's to make it a finite resource. That's it. It's the same behind making epic spells, really. This tree is a spell. It requires a spell of nature to unlock it. Do I have any spells of nature? That apparently doesn't count. How about Dispel? How about Cure? Hang on. Rest. What makes the plot of this campaign bad? Well, we'll get there. Really? It's not bark skin? Okay. Gosh darn it. The reason most people consider it's bad is twofold. I've actually already talked about both of these. Reason number one is that it's considered to be very railroaded. And reason number two is because it is considered to be basic. There's a big evil guy, you're going to stop him.
I will lead them. Follow. Whose throne is with Kuros.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like plots that are, you know, basic. Oh, one of those various spells did it, apparently. I thought there'd be an indicator that I did it, rather than just, hey, we did it.
I am listening.
Damn it. There we go. And yes, that was an arcane spell that I just cast, but whatever. Okay, so this one is Panther. And this one's Bull. Interesting variant. Be curious to see if and how they go anywhere with that. Oh, A New Hope has an extremely basic plot. I mean, really. There's an evil organization. They are trying to kill a lot of people. You are trying to stave the princess and then stop them. About as basic as it gets. Unless we're talking like Dragon Warrior 1. That's an extremely basic plot. There's an evil guy. He has kidnapped the princess. That's the plot of Dragon Warrior 1.
Yes.
Or like the plot of, say, Mass Effect 1, which is also very basic. Could barely even see that. Yeah, the plot of any Mario game. I mean, there are a few Mario RPGs that have a legitimately complex plot. Why are you saying you offended me, Platy? Must I destroy you with my unlimited kindness? Seriously, it's super unlimited. I'm not running out anytime soon.
This is the Sky Mirror. Do not stray too close to its waters. They can be a shock to the uninitiated. Give me a moment to center myself, and then I can try to contact the druids of Neverwinter Wood. All it requires is placing this offering within the Sky Mirror's waters, and then we shall wait.
I love waiting.
Eleni? Child, is that you?
Elder Naven, can you hear me?
Yes, child. Where are you?
I am touching the waters of the Sky Mirror, but I had thought to contact the druids of Neverwinter Wood, not one of my own circle.
I was traveling for the past season. Not as long from the mirror as you, perhaps. And only recently have I returned from the Sword Coast.
Sorry, what?
This is Elder Naven, one of my circle. He has been a part of it for almost as long as Vashni and the others, but I did not realize he had left the mare. He cannot hear you, but I can communicate your questions to him if you wish. Elder Naven, why were you traveling? And where are the druids of Neverwinter Wood?
My path has been a long one. What I have found, and what I have not, troubles me. Like you, I've had no success in contacting the druids of Neverwinter Wood. I suspect they are avoiding me, or have cut themselves off from others.
We encountered one in Neverwinter, and he had come in search of one of the Circle of the Mare, either you or I, but had found no one, not even Elder Vashni.
That is troubling news, and part of what drove me here. I returned because I felt something was wrong with the mare, and I have not been able to reach any of the other druids. This failing from the mare, it is like a black silence stretching through Mer de Lane, and even seeing through the eyes of animals and birds has proved useless.
Elder Naven, we did find one of the Circle of the Mare, Khalil. He was maddened, and we were forced to fight him.
What? How did this happen?
Elder, I do not know. I fear it is tied to whatever is occurring in the mare. And he said that our circle, that it was lost. If so, we may be the only two left.
We shall see with our own eyes first. This news of Khalil saddens me. Was there no other way?
Elder, Khalil was driven mad. He had slaughtered the animals of Maiden's Glade, tore them apart while he was trapped in the form of a bear.
Troubling. It must not have been an easy thing to do. Such an act of mercy, Eleni.
Elder Naven, we came here to ask the lore keepers of Neverwinter Wood if they knew anything of what was happening at the mare. And we fear that whatever is occurring in the mare is tied to a set of silver fragments we carry.
Silver fragments? Like the one carried by that village boy you were watching?
Yes, but he did not carry it. It was hidden near the village, I believe. He retrieved it from the Ilfarn ruins there.
That is a strange coincidence. But perhaps not. The darkness clouding the mare. It is familiar in some respects to events that occurred at the time of the discovery of those shards. During the war against the King of Shadows long ago, a similar darkness infested the mare, though not as thick as it is now. Can he have returned? There were many battles fought in the mare, and at its borders. One even at West Harbor. Eleni, I must continue on to the mare. and try to find what became of Vashni and the others. Even if they are dead, I must see it with my own eyes, and see what I can do to find out more about this threat and the shards you speak of.
Of course, Elder Naven.
Good fortune, Eleni. I know of your vigil, but now we must focus our sight back to where it belongs, on the lands we tend.
I know, Elder Naven. Forgive me.
I will contact you when I know more. I will send a messenger. You will know it when it arrives. Until we meet again, Eleni, beware the shadows.
So he's super dead. Like, super dead.
There is nothing more we can do here, I'm afraid.
Da-na-na-na.
Something is wrong. The spirits are gathering. We must leave at once. We are not welcome here.
Well, okay, I guess. I don't want to outstay my welcome. Come on, lass, let's go. Doom, 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 doomy doom, doomy doomy doom. What the? Oh my god, it's a water elemental. And a ghast? And another water elemental? Wow. Oh, here, I've got water elementals too. Have fun, children. Anyways, two things. First of all, Platy, I don't even think you've said anything that even comes close to being rude or offensive or anything. You're fine. Or, rather... Second of all... in case you missed that little snippet... Eleni has actually been following us since we were basically a kid. Off and on. Obviously not full-time. But she has effectively been stalking us for a very long time. Now, the reasons for that are debatable, but that is basically the reason why she is a possible love interest. Because she kind of grew to be romantically interested in us. Someone she'd never actually met. And we'd never actually met her. Make of that what you will. Oh, good, it's a bad guy. Hi.
Druidess, we have come for you. You have felt us in the land. Now, feel the touch of darkness upon you.
Yeah, Takoida puts it very well. She fell in love with the idea of a person, not us. Oh yeah, sorry, darkness.
This is what summoned the protectors of the Sky Mirror here. This priest. But the way is hidden. How did he manage to find his way here? We must leave. If we remain, others may come.
Yeah, funnily enough, they never answer that question, but to me the answer's so obvious. He just followed her shadow. So yeah, the servitors of the Shadow King are teenagers. And I mean that as an insult. It's like, you don't understand how dark and brooding... I mean, don't get me wrong, I like a good dark story. I do. I myself have both written and read stuff that people are like, oh, that's super edgy, and I'm like, no, I'm with it. You know, demon hunters in World of Warcraft literally carve scars into themselves and fill them with fell energy, which allows them to experience a very specific type of pain, which they can then turn into power to use against their foes, and it helps to keep them concentrating. I'm with that. But these guys are teenagers. These guys are just kiddies. Like, they're the guys who are like, you don't understand, man. The darkness is totally, like, super cool. It's the best. I can't even do it. Darkness understands me in a way you never did. The Shadow King, he's the best, man. Him and his weird bald head and his... Wait a minute. Am I? Nope. Okay, we're cool. I'm wearing something other than black. Yeah, you gotta get some darkness, man. You don't understand. My parents, they tried to just be cool and loving and take care of me, but they don't know my pain. Like, there's birds, man. Those birds are dying. That's how much pain I'm in. I should stop. I don't want to actually upset anybody. It's never really my goal. So the voot right now is overwhelmingly in the favor of hitting the city watch. So I suppose that's what we're doing. Hang on, let's do this real
Like
quick.
it, Kazan.
Hey guys. Oh, whoops, this is the wrong guy. We own this place. The Watch are dead or greedy or cowards. I'd like to see you try. Yep. No, there we go. Sorry, I didn't actually mean to talk to him. Sorry, you guys said the Watch. Do I, Vladdy? Maybe I've just got a lot of makeup on, like Jack Nicholson's the Joker. When it gets to about 1,347% fiendish, I don't understand your question. What are you asking me? Hi, Jaluda. I'm glad you're back from the sauna. I hope that the massage was acceptable there. There must be someone you could spare, Lieutenant. He's the first to make a stand against these thugs and deserves our protection. You know the number of men I have available to me, Marshal. You also know the efforts I've been taking to weed out turncoats. I can send some watchmen to your shopkeep, but then we have to postpone the sweep through the Northern District. And I'm sure you'll agree we want every man available for that operation. Is that a Hobbs emote? The Council hasn't done any favors with the last vote, have they, Lieutenant? We'll just have to make do with what we have available. Very well, postpone the sweep. Assign some men to the shopkeep. Place the others on. Oh, hey, look what the wind's brought. It's good to see you again. If I recall, you were promised a reward when you decided to seek me out. I spoke with my captain once I returned. She agreed your services were quite valuable. Yet no reward necessary, really. Oh. Well, I'm glad to see your harrowing journey hasn't changed you. A lot of people come out of the place changed. And not for the better. But enough about that. What can I do for a fellow harborman? I need to get into... Oh, well, no. I'm looking for Aldenon. I'll be honest with him. Aldenon? Well, I know of him. He's a sage that lives in the Black Lake District. Beautiful place. Worth the trip. You should go to the zoo where they torture animals into the point where they're basically on the verge of death, and then they sell the right to kill them to bored nobles. It's a wonderful district. However, you won't be getting in anytime soon. Why? There was the foulest of murder. I'm not permitted to give any details, but it's serious. Even the mages of the Cloak Tower have gotten involved. Dun dun dun! I'm trying really hard not to make a CSI joke here. Just another day in Wizard City. Anyways. So, why is it locked down? Again, I'm not permitted to say. If it makes you feel any better, though, even some of the nobles who live in the district haven't been permitted to return. The only way anyone gets in is if they're a member of the Watch, and Captain Brelena has to personally approve. Okay. What if I work for the City Watch? That'd be a good start. A good start! Alright, Karmic. Hey, listen. I can cast spells that can kill this entire city. Now, I don't want to do that, because that would take forever and be really boring. I've done that before. What? I once had a wizard character who decided to destroy an entire village as a test. Didn't get a lot of experience from it. It turns out when you're killing things that die in, like, instant, one hit to anything, they don't really give a lot of experience. Go figure. I figured taking out a whole village might be worth something, but... What? It's okay, I got them back up afterwards. In a manner of speaking. Listen, if you can make enough of an impact, Captain Brelena may even take an interest in you, and believe me, you'll have plenty of opportunities to show off. Alright, what do I need to do? Well, the City Watch has lost its grip on the docks. Criminal gangs are running loose, and even some of our own seem to have forgotten the oaths they took when they joined. Wait. Corrupt guards? Corrupt guards? All I have to say to that is... It hasn't been your usual crime wave, however. These thugs are organized. And we heard a name. Moira. Or Moira. They say it a couple different ways. We think she's the one running the gang. We also know the others have tried to organize their own gangs. The City Watch is outnumbered. We need every man and woman willing to join our ranks. Okay. Ugh. What'd I tell you about this one, Ro? Gets things done with little fuss. Yes, sir. Valuable recruit. The captain will be pleased. I'm sorry. Obviously, we're cheating. But I want to remind you that at this point in the game, we're about level 6, maybe level 7 if we're really pushing it. I want you to picture a local guard of a relatively small city-state hiring a level 6 adventurer to be a part of the local guard. So here's your cloak. Go do your stuff. Go to the shop. So sweep of the north. Make your way to Hagen's. Goodbye. Really, Django? I've only actually sided with the criminals once, like, ever. Yeah, I'm with both Corrales and Dakoita. Okay, this is kind of expensive, even just to exist. Like, spell components, you know, I've got expenses, man.
Like it, son.
Oh, I understand what you're asking. Okay, so I think the official number for overwhelming majority is 75% or greater, or excuse me, actually 76% or greater. I could be wrong about that, because there's a simple majority, which is any greater. So, you know, for example, 100 people, if 51 vote for something, that is a simple majority. Then there's a something else, which I don't remember what it's called, but there's like a such and such majority, which is like 66, and there's an overwhelming majority, which is 76. If I'm not mistaken. Wow, Django. Hello? Yeah, I'm here to speak with Hagen. I'm Risa. My father is Hagen. Might I ask what you want to speak about? I'm with the City Watch. I understand you're in need of protection. Ah, yes, it would be welcome, if it wouldn't take too much time out of your busy schedule. It's good to know the Watch considers threats to one livelihood a sufficient reason for an investigation. I take it you're unhappy with the Watch. Yeah, they're pathetic and awful. Unhappy only begins to describe my frustration. However, now that you're here, I am more than willing to forgive. By the way, if you're paying attention, this is, I think, the 7th time we've interacted with an NPC who is pissed because of how ineffectual and worthless the local guards, militia, and actual military are. Keep that in mind. It's actually going to be important later. The City Watch has honored us with their presence, Father. Perhaps a celebration is in order. Oh, be silent, Risa. They're here now, and they mean to help. Thank you for responding. Forgive my daughter. She's yet to learn patience. She's definitely a charmer. I'd be wanting protection, too, if there were more of your kind running around this city. Such a nice fellow. So, why do you need protection? Things look pretty quiet. Oh, I should certainly think so. I'd probably already be dead if you hadn't showed up when things weren't quiet. I want the Watch to put a stop to the tribute demands from a local thug named Caleb. If you're paying attention, by the way, this is how this is a mutually exclusive quest. Because the first quest Caleb gives you is to shake down this merchant in order to get money out of him. Tribute for what? For all the services he's been providing. You listen to Caleb's goons, you'd think the only reason the entire docks isn't burned down is because of their efforts. So it's worth noting that you can actually refuse this. You can actually say, without evidence, I'm afraid I can't do anything. We're not doing that. So you can say, why don't you just hire some bodyguards? Or, the City Watch isn't your personal army. Or, I'm going to do my goddamn job. So I'm going to go do my job. How's that sound, guys? So she leaves. Come on, game. Game. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay. So there's the thugs. Caleb didn't like your answer. Pay him or die. Maybe a few broken bones will change your mind. Where's your daughter? Sent her away, did you? Not smart at all. We can find her. It'd be a real shame if something were to help us. Oh, wait, look. The merchant thinks the city watch can help. I'm a little more trouble than you guys think. I would probably walk away from this one if I were you. You watchmen barely know which end of that sword stick into someone. Boys, the city watch is getting uppity. Time to put down a pig.
Nature will have its say!
I agree. Let's put down a pig. God, I love the smell of bacon. The watch is here to serve. Good day. Whoops, this is actually the wrong way. It's fine, Takoida. They'll... Crap. Look, I just really wanted to blow them up with fire, okay? Is that so much to ask? Honestly. Oh my god, where am I? Oh, I see the problem.
Like it, son.
So now that he's protected, I suppose we could use something other than fire. Next time we'll use cold. How's that sound? That'll do a little less damage, right? Of course not, Fiendish. I'm just a guard. So, okay, this is going to sound weird, but I saw a random Flash video that was basically a joke. And in it, there was this really high-level Pokemon adventurer who was just wandering around looking like a regular person in order to catch Team Rocket, right? I actually really like that idea. Like, imagine a level 10 adventurer is like, okay, I really want to help clean up this town, so I'm going to basically join the Guard and become a member of the Guard in the most dangerous, terrifying district there is. And so you just act like a guard and dress like a guard, and then, oh, hey, here's a bunch of thugs. Whip out the +3 swords. All right. So, dealt with that. Apparently there's some guy named Caleb behind this. Moved on to extortion, has he? My sources suspect him of being Moyer's man at the South Docks. Bringing him in will hurt operations. Well, what are we waiting for? I'll send men over right now. No. I'll take care of this. The sweep through the North Docks was rougher than anticipated, so the men are very tired. So, I got this. I can just imagine walking up to someone. Hi. I'm just a local member of the Guard. Okay, I believe you because you have a bluff skill of 37. Good to know. Now, here's what I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me exactly where your boss is, and exactly what your boss is planning. And then I want you to walk home and rethink your life. And if you don't come up with a good answer, I'm going to be back tomorrow. Just to check. Okay, please. There's actually a lot of possibilities for adventuring in this game that don't involve dungeon crawling or, you know, typical defeat end-of-the-world stuff. But whatever. Hi, Caleb. You know, you should treat members of the Watch with respect. Why don't you go be a good little watchman and chase down dogs or something? Besides, you got any proof that I haven't done anything? I don't really need proof. So, I wasn't there. You're wasting my time, and I'm starting to get angry. Okay. Well, that works for me. Really. It really works for me.
Nature will have its say!
Yeah, exactly, Baronessa. We could do an entire series of games in a thing like that. Well, Yeah, he. That's the funny thing, Takoda. I actually agree with you. I'm sorry, I should have made that more clear. I'm like, hey, I want to bring you in for questioning. You're under arrest for this thing. Okay. I'm going to kill you if you don't leave. Huh. Okay. Well, now that you've given me due cause to bring you in, pull out the weapon. I mean, that's true in real life, too. I'm dead serious. If this, cops actually know the rules reasonably well if they're trained well in real life, at least here in the States. That's one of the reasons why cops will, they'll approach you like nicely or politely, or they'll try to get you to talk about something. If they're doing that, it's because they don't actually have the legal justification to bring you in, right? Well, if you give them it, they will act on that immediately. So, for example, if you tell a cop, get out of here, I'm going to bust your face, that is a threat. In fact, by legal definition, that is terroristic threat. Which means they can now go after you for that, regardless of everything else. Anyways. Yeah, so Caleb's dead. He tried to bribe me and attacked when I refused. Huh, a shame. If he was working for Moyer, he'd have some interesting things to say. Yeah, he didn't really give me a lot of choice in the matter. Oh, I believe it. Caleb was never the smartest guy. You did well. I just want to stress that I have just been given an attaboy for killing a guy. I know, it's Forgotten Realms, and death is cheap. It's just funny to me. Anyways, unstable as he was, Cable still had some control over crime in the docks. Without him, I'm wagering his thugs are now divided and fighting over control. I want you to deal with it. Keep the peace. What do you want me to do? Our sweep through the North Docks wasn't as effective as we would have liked, but it did reveal the amount of control her gang has over the district. It also revealed the extent of the corruption that spread through the Watch. Many of our men returned to the port to report they were either ambushed or, more disturbingly, that they found only law-abiding citizens. I want you to perform a similar sweep through this area of the docks. Apprehend any and all members of Moyer's or anyone else's gang you run across. I also want to check in at guard posts. Captain Berlena has given me strict orders, Marshal. I'm not to press the issue with our watchmen at this time. We are short-handed as is and cannot afford to have men leaving us for her employ. Yeah, but she's also charged us with cleaning up the district, and I tend to do just that. Corruption encourages criminal activity. All right. Why do you want me to visit the guard posts? Oh, it's a surprise. We may be able to catch a few working with the gang. Only you, myself, and Lieutenant Rowe know about this sweep. We have the advantage at the moment. If we wait on this, she'll have time to prepare, and we'll encounter the same thing as we did with the northern sweep. Okay. You got it. I will arrest as many criminals as I can. Hi. Listen, I'm just saying, it's so easy to get rid of crime. All we do is kill all the criminals. It's my new 1-point plan. Here's the 1 point. That one. Just remembering where they are. And I think that's it. Nope, there's another one down there. Okay. Yep, we're gonna need... I mean, basically, we are John Wick in this relative circumstance. Hi! Yeah, just checking in. I don't recognize you. You must be one of the new recruits. Keep to your own business and your patrol will be over before you know it. Any trouble? I'm just saying it can get rough. Don't go looking for any trouble, I won't find you. Anything to report? It's been quiet. I've got an understanding with Moyer's boy, though, so it's usually quiet. In an understanding. You really are new at this, aren't you? Look, the deal is we stay away from her boys, and in exchange there's some extra coin in our purses at the end of each shift. It's a good arrangement, and as long as they don't do anything like try to burn down a block, everyone benefits. Besides, none of us are paid well enough to cross her and get ourselves killed. You know, he's got a point. I hate to play devil's advocate here, but I have actually said this in many settings for many reasons. You gotta take care of your own people. You gotta take care of their morale. You gotta take care of their pay. Otherwise, this happens. Guards are massively underpaid, in general, but also in Neverwinter in particular. So they don't have that many people. Remember, they've mentioned 3 times now that they're low on personnel. And they don't get paid a lot on top of that. It was also directly mentioned that one of them, that there's a recent council meeting with the nobles and aristocracy, which cut the funding to the guard. And so what's happening here is these guards are like, we'll turn a blind eye as long as they don't go over the line. Now, let's be honest, not every guard is that reasonable. There are plenty of guards who would be fine with whatever. But there are still a number of guards who are like, as long as they're just stealing and extorting money, as long as they're not destroying or massacring or whatever, then whatever. I can turn a blind eye to that. And everyone has their limit, and every limit is at a different point. And as Dakoita pointed out, and this is a very unfortunate truth that's been true in real life for many, many times, organized crime tends to keep crime under check better than anything else. Probably because it's organized. Because the organization does not benefit from random thugs or random murders or whatever. So what we have here is exactly that. This is one of the reasons why, joining the cartel isn't really the evil option here. It's just the chaotic option. Now, we can walk into this. Yeah, exactly. Self-regulation is a great way to put it. Self-regulation. We can walk into this in one of several different ways. We can say, yeah, okay, you got a point, and go along with it. We can walk in here saying, that's wrong, and just try to stop it. Or we can join the other side, basically, which at this point we can't do anymore. Not a lot of options here, really. Now, I am trying to be a good person, and I do think this situation can be resolved, especially since, well, let's just say I'm going to gain a little bit of political power by the end of this campaign. So, I'm going to go ahead and be like, look, you're going to do your job here. And his response is, look, my duty is to my family. And that means not getting myself killed trying to start a one-man war against Moyer. And the extra coin comes in handy. It's been hard living in Neverwinter. Everyone's still recovering from the last war. That would be the one in Neverwinter Nights 1, by the way. Besides, Moyer's already got half the watch in her pockets. My taking money doesn't make any bit of difference. How would your family feel if they knew you had been corrupted? Well, they wouldn't be pleased to hear it, but what can I do about it? I can't walk up to Moyer and give her the coin back, can I? What you can do is you can let me know if Moyer's people have something planned. Now, there's an idea. A little risky if anyone finds out I've been tipping you off, though. Don't worry, I will keep our secret safe. I actually believe you can. Alright. I'll slip word on Moyer's activities to you. You let me keep Moyer's gold. Good compromise. Now, if you don't mind, I think we're done talking. You've got a patrol to finish. Now, I liked Neverwinter Nights 2 a lot when I was first playing this game. I was pretty much fully into it. The banter between the party was enough for me. But as soon as I saw that that was an option in this quest, I was just like, dude, that's awesome. I know that's a minor thing, but I like that that was actually an available option for us. We're not asking you to do anything violent, Sergeant. In fact, we're offering to pay you more than your men would make for an entire week, just to end your shift a little early. It's a lot to offer for such a simple favor. Why so much? 'Cause we respect you, Sergeant. And we receive little. You work hard. You receive little in return from the watch. Think of this as a gift for your dedication. I'm sorry, who are these men, Sergeant? That's an excellent question. Watchman, I would also like to know before our discussion proceeds any further. We're merely travelers from Luskin, impressed with the work of your city watch, and wish to offer a gift. Right. How'd you get into the city? Luskin and Neverwinter are currently at peace. Our presence here should not cause alarm. If you wish to discuss politics some other time, I'd be more than willing to oblige, but for now, I have a business transaction to complete with the sergeant, if you don't mind. You know, I I do have to admit, I tend to get concerned when someone attempts to bribe the City Watch. What? I haven't agreed with anything. Don't be lumping me in with all the other turncoats. I'm shocked, even offended, that you would suggest such a thing. I'm merely offering a gift to a hard-working member of the Watch in gratitude for the security they bring to the city. In other words, a bribe. Which I would like to state again, I haven't accepted. You seem like an honorable man. What are you going to do? You know, you're right. Taking this gift makes me just as bad as the other turncoats. As much as I appreciate the offer, sir, I must refuse. Well, that is unfortunate. You and your men will not be at this post at the given time, I assure you. Kill them all, dispose of the evidence. This isn't what we had planned, but it'll be far more enjoyable to spit these Neverwinter hounds upon our blights. Blah, we're evil, etc. You get it, you get it. You know, I want to kill them with lightning this time, just to vary it up a little bit. The war's barely over and Luskins are already looking to cause trouble again. I thought all the troubles with Rotham would be enough to keep the Luskins out of our city, but here they are, crawling into the harbors like rats on a sinking ship. I'm glad you were here. Oh, thank God you weren't here earlier, Hazardous. I'm glad you were here to back us up. You won't tell anyone what was said before the fight, would you? Don't worry about it. You did the right thing in the end. And after what happened here, you can bet I won't be tempted again. Just remember that people get hurt when a watchman turns his back. You speak the truth. Who knows what those Luskins would have done if I'd taken their tainted gold. Have a safe patrol, watchman. I'll remember what happened here. What the? Oh, hey, there's more Luskins. I mean, there were more Luskins. Well, we joined the local City Watch and have been trying to fight against the City Watch being corrupt and taking bribes, Hazardous. Now, this is a feature I haven't pointed out yet. You see that? They're like, glue, 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 glue. Now, this is actually really cool. Are they not done killing that thing already? So it's glowing, right? Well, if I go to loot it, and I don't loot it, it stops glowing. In other words, they only glow when it's loot you have not yet interacted with, which I like. And it means you don't have to constantly hold down tab to see loot from combat, which I like. It could be better, don't mistake me, but it's a nice thing. I just wanted to comment on it really quick. Hey, it's Kara.
Ladies, please, there's no call to lose our tempers over this.
Temper? I haven't even gotten warmed up yet.
Being able to keep a rein on your spells is a sign of discipline, Quara. Something you could never master.
And the instructors aren't here to shield you. Go on. Set fire to this whole street and this sad tavern, and you'll never be able to return to the academy, let alone Neverwinter.
As if I'd want to stay in that prison with you high-nosed witches for another year.
You're right. Here among the docks is where you belong, peddling yourself for cheap coin.
Wow! Someone get me a tankard. This is going to get good.
What in the nine hells did I do to deserve that? Oh, thank the gods you've arrived. Do something. These ladies are about to start throwing spells outside my establishment.
Alright, let me see what I can do.
Whatever you do, do it quick. They won't be able to ferry enough water from the harbor to put out a blaze if things get out of hand.
Heatha, I think members of the Watch are here.
Friends of yours, Quara? Sent to bail you out, perhaps?
I don't need anyone's help to turn you into ash.
I don't like her, by the way. We're like never going to recruit her for any significance. So, you know, if you guys start a fight here, you'll be breaking the law. I'll be forced to arrest you.
This is not your concern. Quara has threatened us for the last time, and we will stand for it no longer.
Yeah, if Quara's so superior to us, then I say let her prove it. without the Academy instructors stepping in to stop things.
The instructors? They never stopped me before. You always went running to them, not me. I've heard every word you've said about me. Always talking behind my back, ridiculing me, just because it takes you a shoreman's hour to cast a cantrip.
And you think setting fire to a stable while casting yours is any better, Quara? I practice restraint, not showy, excessive displays.
Yeah, Heatha is simply cautious in her craft. You're the dangerous one, Quara.
If you knew how dangerous I was, then you should have known better than to push me this far.
So, these are kids who are being kids. At the end, really. And I have to admit, I do also like this scene. I do, legitimately. It is probably the only good scene Quara, they actually do all three pronunciations, gets. As I mentioned, she was a victim of the cut content thing. So what we have left is someone who is a spoiled brat who doesn't care about anything other than the fact that she can cast her own power and do her own thing. She would probably be chaotic neutral as I define it. Someone who really is just, nope. It could be extremely easily argued that she is chaotic evil, but by my definitions, I would call her chaotic neutral. She also, she is pretty strong. Now, we don't actually see a huge amount. Yes, this is her best scene, Hieronymus. The setting doesn't do a lot of really examining the lore differences between sorcerer and wizard, but the general idea is sorcerers really are stronger. Wizards have more tools. More tools in their kit. Kara really could kill those two relatively effortlessly for the same general reason that I can. There's also a cut content thing which has Sand basically find out that she has actually been holding back or has been held back for some time, and she's actually way stronger than she's otherwise thought. In fact, spoilers, at the end of the game here, you have a choice to join the enemy and be a complete idiot or not. If you choose not to join the enemy, he gets some of your party members to join him. If you get Kara on your side, Sand joins the enemy. His reasoning? It's not because he's evil. It's not because he wants to be, part of the Shadow King's army or whatever. It is because he thinks Kara is more threatening than the Shadow King. Now, obviously, all of this is stuff on the cutting room floor that doesn't really matter, and it's obviously a story arc they want to do something with, and they never did. Her story effectively ends, right here. But I only point that out because it's an interesting way to look at things. If not for the fact that she was a complete prat, it would be far more engaging to go through. Yeah, it would be interesting, I agree. So, okay, how many of you guys have read Order of the Stick? Real question. It's relevant, I swear. I'll wait, because I'm going to spoil something. Well, I'll just tell you. One of the character arcs for Zykon, who is a lich sorcerer within the setting, is someone who... The character arc is... He has a bit of a grudge against wizards. Because wizards have consistently and throughout almost all of his life looked down upon him. And I always liked this because, in my mind, Zykon's arc is basically Kara's arc, just fully realized. The idea is, he really is stronger than those wizards, and yet every single wizard he fights insists that he is the amateur. Basically, he did not earn his power, and he does not know what he's truly wielding. It's a pure elitist thing, right? And almost every wizard has the same mentality, including one of the party members. Again, I'm trying to dodge around spoilers here, but you get the idea. And yet, at every single turn, Zykon crushes those wizards in combat. And of course he does. He's a sorcerer. He's a sorcerer lich, it's worth noting, but still, that he is a sorcerer. In fact, one of the wizards he defeats because he's a lich, and he actually just walks up and tries to crush their windpipe. Anyways, point being, I always liked that idea. And I've kind of wanted to do a story arc myself of that in some way, or at some point. I haven't really had a particular way to do so yet. And that's why I feel so sad that Kara's story arc basically never happens. Because it's that exact same concept, it's just never realized. Anyways, getting back to my point, Kara is very arguably evil. She's at the very least leaning towards evil. We're not going to do much with her. Again, there is effectively no characterization for her, like, at all. So she's not going to be in our party. We're not going to gain influence with her. The only really scene she has of significance is this one and 2 others. So get a good eyeful, because this is the end of her. So, if a single spell is cast, I'll kill you all without a second thought.
I would not intervene if I were you, else we'll be forced to stop you as well. We are wizards, you know.
Yes, wizards. From the Academy. But we don't want any trouble with you. Just Quara.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna make this real clear. Any fight here means you're fighting me and my friends.
Heatha, I don't want to be cast out of the Academy if we're arrested.
Very well. This isn't worth it. You're fortunate this time, Quara. Next time, you'd better not let us catch you outside the Academy walls. Come, Glenna. I think we've smelled enough of the docks for one day.
I didn't need your help. Those wizards had it coming.
Yeah. I'm a paladin. No. But, okay, I'm sorry, I do want to address one thing really quick. I've talked many times about the differences between wizards and sorcerers. I have always played it in lore based on the line of dialogue that it was just a throwaway line in the middle of that cutscene. And I just want to pull that out and draw your attention to it, because it's one of the only times, I just pull a magnifying glass to this, it's one of the only times that they really analyze the difference between power inborn versus power learned. Remember, this is Forgotten Realms. Anyone can become a wizard. Anyone who actually sits down and gets the papers, and studies the spells and how they work, any single one of them can actually figure out how to become a wizard. Anyone, as long as they have the int. Sorcerer is way, way rarer. In fact, God, I'm not even sure I can actually come up with a list of like 5 significant named sorcerers in this setting. They're super rare. And so the specific point I wanted to bring up there was, at least my cantrip doesn't take an hour to cast, whereas they said of her, at least our cantrips don't set the stables on fire. And that right there it's a wonderful way of showcasing the difference right there. Because a wizard has to learn how to use the power. A sorcerer has to learn how to control the power. Make sense? And I love that dichotomy, and I love that different approach there. And again, it's almost never touched on, which is why I wanted to take a moment and mention it. Oh, was there, Baronessa? I didn't actually know that. How the hell does that work in lore? Anyways, good evening, Snordutton. By the way, hello. I'm sorry, several people have popped in. I didn't say hi to them specifically. Lenny was there. I saw him. I swear other people have popped in. I've been negligent. I apologize. Tastenhauer. He shows up too. That's right. He showed up. Past tense. Past tense. No, I do not mean wild mages. I mean sorcerers. Wild magic is different. How are they born with these powers? The generally accepted answer is they are either a direct or distant descendant of a dragon, because dragons have innately magical blood and like to have children with just about everything because they're dragons. However, in general, the idea is that you are an oddity, you are a rareness. For whatever reason, you are simply born with magic in your soul, actually the ability to cast basically from within rather than from without, innately and naturally. Yeah, and favored soul, which I actually talked about during character creation, is the same idea with a cleric, born with divine power within you rather than having to learn it like a cleric. So anyways, oh yeah, this is also why sorcerers cast from charisma, whereas wizards cast from int, by the way. But anyways, so those wizards totally had it coming, but not in front of this inn.
Those noble-born wannabe mages are just jealous. They don't like the fact that I can summon more power from my thumb than they can with a day's worth of concentration. They're always staring into their tomes and books, trying to categorize magic. It's a waste of time. It just is. And either you understand it or you don't. It's instinct.
Okay. So I'm taking it you study at the academy.
Well, the thing is, I'm not a part of the academy anymore. I quit. Sort of. After burning down the stable.
Last you should have thought of that before starting a fight outside the flagon, and the damage you caused before they even showed up.
It's the wood you use in the rafters. It sets fire easily. Sorry about that.
Sorry? Oh, lass, I wasn't asking for an apology. You'll be paying me back, you will, for all my lost business, for a tarnished reputation, and for putting me and my kin in danger like that.
What? I'm not working for either of you, ever.
It's probably worth noting Duncan is a retired adventurer, so he probably still has some levels in him. Although she would probably still be able to kill him, but you know. Okay, comma, take it easy, period. Phone hugs, exclamation mark. I'm worried about her. She's starting physical therapy very soon, next week actually. And that's probably going to be painful. What, do you think you're too good for us?
I am. Now get out of my way. I'm not paying for a thing.
No, lass, you will. Or by gods, you'll bring down a fury from me like you've never seen. And not only that, if you don't, you'll be proving those other girls right. I don't think you're willing to admit you don't have discipline, restraint, or a sense of responsibility, like they claim to have. Besides, I doubt you'll be welcome back at the academy.
I mean, I could use help in my travels, especially from a sorceress.
You want me to help you? Fine, but I warn you, you may not be able to handle me. But if you want to take a demon by the horns, then fine.
Yep, so then she goes in. We're going to talk to her a little bit, basically right now, and then basically never again. So, like I said, there's not a lot to her, unfortunately.
Ha! You call that an insult, goat girl? Even the tree worshipper could scrape up something better than that.
Goat girl? I've never heard that one before, Stumpy.
Ah, you're not trying. That's a nickname, not an insult. We Iron Fist call our own children Stumpy, you skinny bull. Ah.
Skinny bull? That doesn't even make any sense. Go back to your drinking, Moss Breath. At least you're good at that.
Moss breath?
Amateurs.
Amateurs? Why, the spoiled princess thinks she's better than us, Kelgar.
A bold claim from an academy dropout, seems to me.
You two wouldn't know an insult if it walked up and bit you.
Well then, why don't you show us how it's done, Fire Hair?
Fire hair. Imaginative and biting, with just the slightest hint of wit. Is that really the best your demon blood can squeeze out, Tail for Brains?
My brains are not in my tail.
So, what are they, right next to it? If so, might want to loosen the back of your pants a notch, because even with the hole, they're obviously not getting enough air.
Okay, explain that one to me.
Well, she said your brains are next to your tail, which would imply that your brains are in your rear end, and that you breathe through your,
Okay, I get it, all right. Little witch.
Don't take it so hard. I had to explain it, which means the insult's a failure. But a tankard for effort, your highness. By my reckoning, the Flagons never had a finer table-cleaning goblin wench.
What, since your mother lost her job?
Now don't you be bringing my mother into this. You'd best be careful, you simpering little father's girl, or you'll learn a thing or two about Iron Fist honor and manhood.
Oh, you mean the two smallest things in all of Faerun? From what I hear, no woman could learn about Iron Fist manhood from you, Kelgar.
What? I'll have you know, plenty of women know about Iron Fist manhood. Plenty. They just all live up around Waterdeep. Or
They're all in Canada.
Calm down.
Calm down? I won't take those words from some twig of a girl who doesn't know enough to choose the right tavern to fight in.
At least I learned my lesson from my tavern brawl, you fat-bellied little knee-high. Now, if you're done matching wits with me and coming up short, why don't you trundle back to your high chair and drink up your honor until it comes out the other end? Maybe later on, I'll come by to put you in your cradle.
Huh?
Wow, fat-bellied little knee-high. That's good.
Shut up, Tail for Brains. Ha! And here I thought mages had nothing to offer the world. Tunkin, another round.
Get your drink yourself, dwarf. Seeing as how you haven't paid for a single drop your entire stay here.
Been wondering when you'd give in and grant me free reign over your kegs. Anyone else want anything?
Some dwarves should never be allowed to walk the surface, little freeloaders.
So anyways, that's the Kara that we'll never really see again. You're welcome.
Great. What's wrong now?
So tell me about yourself.
Why? Like you care? If I didn't almost burn down your uncle's dumb establishment, I wouldn't even be here.
Hey!
Oh, stow it, you drunk.
I hear you haven't been doing well in the academy.
Well, it's not hard to guess which side of the classroom you heard that from. Those instructors. They don't know what they're talking about. And if I had to page through one more dusty tome, forget it.
I mean, honestly, instinct and experience are the best teacher for me.
Finally, someone who can speak some sense. I wish you could tell the masters and the students at school that. They keep them all sheltered there like sheep. How are they ever going to learn anything from a book or potion bottle?
We just got a lot of influence with her. She's actually really easy to get influence with because she has so few cutscenes. It's their way of kind of working around that. You know what? We need to settle. I do agree with Baronessa, by the way. The fact that her those sorcerers, or sorcerers wizards, the fact that the Academy were trying to train a sorceress like a wizard just shows how inept that they really are. Oh god, the darkness has come for me! Going somewhere? You made some poor... There we go. You made some poor friends in this city, friend. What seems to be the problem? Save your words. We heard you threatened our sister at this sunken flagon. Our house's honor is at stake, and this will only be settled with blood. Alright, so let me explain to you the difference between a sorcerer and a mage. I'm a sorcerer. Bye. And I didn't touch the surrounding area, because I know how to use my power. Hedge wizard. Hi, Myron. Welcome home. Thank you as ever for the support. Would you like to put that towards something? And I hope your day was good. Yeah, that's exactly what happens when a sorcerer walks into Hogwarts. Hi, guys. Well, in fairness, I can and have played this game as a sorcerer before, and I have destroyed that fight. But, I mean, you know, whatever, right?
Your dedication will be rewarded.
Alright, hang on. Who is that? It's Carbon! No! No. No. Bad. But I will say thank you. Thank you, Carbon. Please stop doing that. I was going to say something. So, Carbon mentions a sorcerer with the knowledge of wizard would be useful. Well, I agree, that's more like a sorcerer who studies wizardry ways or wizardry magic. That's not... They were literally trying to train her to be a wizard, which doesn't quite work. I mean, it could work, because, again, anybody can be a wizard. But my point being, that's basically like... God, I'm trying to think of a good example here. That's like trying to train a cat in the same way that you would... Hang on, how did I insult anyone, Carbon? That's like trying to train a cat in the same way you would train a... excuse me, it's not trying to train a lizard in the same way you would try to train a dog. Right? Like, there's some similarities there, sure. But the problem is you're looking at it from completely the wrong angle. A sorcerer needs... Again, I showed the visual difference. A wizard's doing this, a sorcerer's doing this. I told you you're bad? But you... Oh, right. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Whew. I understand what you're referencing now. No, I know, Dakota. I know. The problem is, it's like... I see that I'm trying to come up with a real-life equivalent here. I don't know enough to know this, but it's basically like taking a device that runs on one type of current and taking another device that runs on another type of current and making them both just be plugged into the same circuit or into the same wall socket, for example. Now, obviously, nowadays, it's okay. His nose is very sturdy. Nowadays, we actually have standardized electrical currents and devices and plugs and all other things I don't know the terminology for specifically to handle that problem. Because this monitor and this computer and that lamp and that PS4 and my phone all technically need a different type of electricity. We just have figured out a way to standardize it so that it's going to be translated properly. Does that make any kind of sense? I know I'm explaining this wrong. It's because I'm not well learned in electrical sciences, but I do know enough to know that this was an issue for a time when people just really started getting going with that. So they're both drawing from electricity, and they're both trying to accomplish a similar thing, but if you just plug something into the wrong socket, it's not going to work, right? Like if I went to Britain right now and took... I don't have any handy, do I? And took one of my things and just tried to plug it into the wall, there's a pretty good chance that wouldn't work because they literally use a different plug over there, and they do as in multiple other countries in the world as well. You get my point? This is why I take such umbrage with the leaders of that academy, because their thinking is basically, well, these both use electricity. Right? Instead of, oh, she's a sorceress, which it's not exactly like sorcerers are so rare that people don't know what they are. So why don't we try, teaching her and working with her like she's a sorceress? Oh, that's actually a much better analogy, Blackfile. It'd be like if I took my car right now and got some diesel in it rather than, standard petrol. That's true, Takoida. That's entirely possible. Either way, this once again highlights the fact that this academy is full of dotards and idiots for trying to teach her in this way. Now, again, that may be their fault, or it may be her father's fault. That was a story that was basically abandoned, because the only reason she was at that academy was because of her dad, and one of her instructors kind of decided that she was awful, and so that instructor, whose name was Sand, got in trouble with her dad. And anyways, you get the point. But yeah, there's no sorcerer school, which is hysterical, because if you think about it, arguably, a sorcerer needs a school. I mean, obviously a wizard requires a school to be a wizard at all, but a sorcerer needs a skill to be a good sorcerer, right? I mean, I can imagine it being a relatively rare thing. Maybe there's like one or two major sorcerer schools, but the fact that there are none that I know of is just kind of strange. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Let's talk to these guards and see how corrupt they are. Hi, guys. Yeah, you sound bored. Yeah, it's as busy as ever. Is there something you wanted? I'm just checking in. Well, you've checked in. You can move on. Wait, you're in the recruit, aren't you? Yeah, I saw you over at the station. You looking to make some extra gold? How would I do that? Oh, there's a secret to staying safe on your shift. Well, two. The first is to not go looking for any trouble, of course. Pick a guard duty if you ever have the choice. And the other secret? Well, the other secret is to make the right friends. Some of my friends are really interested in not being seen. So interested, in fact, they'll pay good coin to make sure of it. I can put you in touch with some of them. Oh, that's a good one too, Platty. I like that. Although smooth jazz. But yeah, Brother Knox, exactly. A sorcerer needs a mentor. It might not need a whole school, but like a sorcerer, a new fledgling sorcerer like Kara needs someone who is a more skilled and experienced sorcerer to train her, to guide her, right? Yeah, I never go off on digressions, don't mind me. By the way, I've been wondering, can I play a sorcerer, summoner, necromancer in Pathfinder? Do wizards in lore know how sorcerers work? Yes and no. Basically, it varies from wizard to wizard. But the knowledge does exist, yes. It's not like it's... I don't know, knowledge about the Faithless Wall, for example, which most people don't even know exists at all. It is something that is a known fact, a known quantity. How uniform are sorcerers' powers? Well, in Giotto there, for example, he actually has the ability to cast Sub-Other 6, which is a really powerful spell. I'm not sure what he wants in return for that spell, like maybe to put that spell towards something as far as a future run. But in the meantime, we all have to thank Injato. Thank you, Injato, for the sub, as ever. Much appreciated. How uniform are sorcerers' powers? That's a good question. In gameplay, they are identical. A sorcerer is a sorcerer is a sorcerer. And in fact, sorcerers cannot be built all that with a lot of variety to their builds, unlike, say, wizards, which you can have quite a few different types of wizards, but a sorcerer is generally always going to be fairly similar. In lore, I actually like to think that sorcerers are quite varied in their power. I've never actually really been able to do this because I don't really play D&D and none of my players want to play sorcerers, but I've always liked the idea that when you make a sorcerer, you basically say, I am a sorcerer of such and such. You know, I was born with innate tendency towards this kind of school of magic, or this kind of spells, or maybe all of my spells are automatically fire type, or whatever, right? In other words, because of the nature of the specific magic that is in them, literally physically within them, their spells manifest differently and give them a little bit of variety in the approach. But that's always been headcanon, not actual truth. Okay, here's my rumination on the room. Okay. Dark Messiah. You got it. Thank you again, Injato. Well, yeah, exactly, Baronessa. Think about it. Think about it. I can't believe that's never been a part of the fluff or the crunch. Anyways, sorry. So what are you saying, Sergeant? Hello? I'm saying you can almost double the amount of the watch pays us by agreeing to look the other way. You sound like an expert at this. Maybe. Look, you're new and I'm just trying to share the ropes, help you out a little. You taking bribes? I prefer to think of it as life insurance. I stay out of their way, make a little gold, I keep living. It's the same offer that comes to you. I suggest you take it. Makes the job a lot safer, if you know what I mean. Social puking? That's a thing? This is, so this is a good time to mention the difference. I actually talked about this earlier, and we just went off on a massive tangent about sorcerers and wizards. But to draw this back to the guards and the corruption of the guards thing, you notice earlier the guard was basically like, hey, so as long as they don't go over the line, and I get this extra pay for my people, I'm cool with this. And the other guard was also cool with being a turncoat. In other words, keeping us informed on what they were doing. Right? This guard is like, yeah, I like extra money. I'm interested in me, not my family, not my job, and I'm totally cool with taking whatever. In other words, this one is, the previous guy is probably closer to, neutral, just straight up neutral, maybe lawful neutral. This guy is closer to neutral evil, at least as I define them. So, I've got an offer for you. I'm taking your advice. Give me a share of the gold you were paid, and I'll stay quiet. No, I'm not actually going to do that. Well, doesn't look like you're going to be living through your first night on the job. And here I thought this was going to be a boring shift.
Let's see what they're made
Now, what's funny is that gives me chaotic evil points, which I have a bit of umbrage with, but whatever. Goodbye. Uh-oh, hazardous. You didn't see anything but corrupt guards, right? Yeah, they literally try to kill you. I just don't think that's chaotic or evil, personally, but whatever. For the record, in lore, what I was just doing was basically seeing how far they were willing to go on the matter and effectively provoking them into attacking me, because they weren't willing to be reasonable on any level and were corrupt to the point where they can't actually... Yeah, I know, right, Bernard? They were corrupt to the point where they couldn't be salvaged, unlike the previous crew. If you're paying attention, all 3 groups of guards we've encountered so far have all been on one level or another accepting bribes. The first group accepted it because, you know, he's paid for crap and wants to take care of his people. That guy was willing to... I know, right, Blackfile? That first guy was... What is my initiative? Hang on, real quick. I'm not sure where it is in this character sheet. I mean, I got plus 20 dex. You'd think I'd have a decent initiative. Anyways, so the first group was willing to work with us and was willing to try and be a better person. The second group was willing to say no, mostly because of racial, lines of organization, but also because they were concerned legitimately bad things would happen if they accepted the bribe. The third group said, you should go ahead and just take the bribe, and if you don't, we'll kill you. That's how the mafia works. Anyways, Starpoint Gemini. I'm sorry. I know that series, but remind me. What is it? So I think I know part of what's going on here. So we're going to change reality here really quick. Maybe that'll help it, because the game gets weird when you go above 50. And I don't know, I think it was having some issues there. So anyway, I told him to get another watchman to help him out, and that we're not leaving our post. And he says, everyone wants the watch to help, but they won't increase our pay. Oh, how's the patrol going? Not too rough at all. Oh, not at all. Why do you ask? Good to hear it. Not a good time to get trapped in the dark alley, you know. Why do you say that? Word on the street is Caleb's been hacked. I hear his men are running loose, stealing anything that isn't nailed down. Without someone keeping them on a leash, I can imagine it's rough going out there tonight. Timora's blessed me, though. I've got guard post duty. No way you could get me go out there. I'm going to sit here and stay alive until my shift is over. Can't be that bad. Look, all I know is without Caleb controlling his men, anything that's not nailed down is up for grabs unless the watch can bring back some order. Then again, I don't know why we should risk my neck when no one's doing any work about the watchmen that work for the gang. You know who the turncoats are? I've got my suspicions, but no proof. Why should I care? If the officers won't do anything about it, I'm not going to start. Still, if it were up to me, I'd take every turncoat and lock him up. But I'm one man, and that's not going to happen. Change does have to start somewhere. Sure, just as soon as I'm given an order to. Otherwise, I'm going to do what I'm told and collect my pay. Look, you don't have to tell me that something needs to be done about the watchman getting paid to look the other way. All I'm saying is I'm not about to cause trouble. I can't trust the people at the top to stand by me when things get rough. Now, I've enjoyed our little talk, but you got rounds to do, so better you than me. That's all I got to say. Notice the variety. Reasonable, willing to work with us. Reasonable, willing to be morally aligned. Unreasonable, morally aligned. Unreasonable, lawfully aligned, and unreasonable, morally aligned. If you're paying attention, we just saw someone who was lawful good. No, I'm saying that wrong. Someone who was lawful, good, lawful, and good, respectively. Between the four of them. And just different interpretations of each of them, which I think is just really cool. It's a real-time simulation, role-playing game, individual vessels, and crew. Cool. What's Starpoint 2? Space trading and combat. So this is a freelancer type game? Because that sounds cool. Anyways, now that we have successfully talked to these people and only killed one of them... In fairness, he really did threaten to kill me first. Oh, hey, it's some thugs. Hi, thugs. Tasty thugs. Oh my god, the watch is on fire! War, the bloodiest war Neverwinter's ever seen! What? The good captain's been too timid out here, afraid to clamp down on the district. And this is what her caution has brought us. Moyer strikes at us wherever she pleases, and now Lieutenant Rowe has been lost in the blaze, along with a number of our brothers. Probably fiendish, but I don't remember it off the top of my head, so I'm going to go ahead and say no. Who knows? Maybe after all this, the Marshal will finally be able to convince the good captain we need to act. No, Ro! Ro was actually cool. Damn it. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I can't do that.
Alright, let's go talk to the captain. Well, because I don't know what it is off the top of my head, Fiendish, but I have read many things in my life. Yes, Lorerun is lost. She is! They just stopped writing for her, for no reason. Yeah, somebody mentioned setting the district on fire. Well, guess what's happening? And yeah, we actually are the ones who light that building on fire if we're on the other side. This overall story arc is almost identical. It's weird. In fact, it's arguably a little bit lazy, because the same basic events happen no matter which side you choose. The only real difference is who actually survives the end game, the actual end of this arc, based on which side you pick. It wasn't me, I think. I should probably stop casting fireballs so much. It's just so darned effective at killing people. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't cast fireballs so often. Really, Harriet? Her and whom, I wonder? Tell you what, Harris, because I'm so generous. Actually, I do want to see something. Where's Fireball? Where's Fireball? There it is. Just leave that there for a minute. Hey, Captain. Actually, let's talk to Cormac real quick. I don't mean to be abrupt, but unless it's important, I got my hands full. Sorry, Cormac. Sorry. Let me go talk to your boss.
So, this is our newest recruit. Cormac told me of your unusual heritage, and he also told me you showed admirable restraint in cleaning up the docks. You are to be commended. I had hoped your restraint in this matter would serve to avoid further violence, but Moya's gang has forced our hand. Last night, they attacked the watch directly.
They put one of our posts to the torch like cowards, and they killed Lieutenant Rowe.
The lieutenant was a good man. His post at the docks was a difficult one, but he always made the best of his position. He will be missed.
Those thrice-cursed murderers now have free rein, but not for long. Captain, let me lead the watch down there. We'll answer fire with steel.
Those responsible for Rowe's murder will answer for it, Marshal. But force will not root out these killers. We will need time and patience. And we will need to rebuild our presence in the docks. If we are to bring these murderers to justice, we will need a new face in the district. A loyal watchman who can wield restraint as well as a sword. That is why I summoned you here. In short, you are to take Lieutenant Rowe's place. I think you are the best one for the job. The watch could use a touch of the arcane. One that Moya may fear.
Right. And that is definitely me. I am definitely someone who is very, reserved. I'm pretty sure I didn't accidentally burn everything down. I hope.
Very well. I think the watch will benefit from your experience. And your social graces, it seems. Marshal Cormac has told me of your interest in Black Lake. You may wish to reconsider your intention to go there. Perhaps you haven't heard of the murders there. Another nobleman has been killed. Gentry was but the first. I will permit only the most trusted of the watch to enter Black Lake. Serve me well, and I shall grant you access, but not before.
Wait, what? So, you're dangling this in front of my head, or in front of my face, right? I know, right, Carbon? It was a good sergeant, that's why everything's gone to hell in a basket. I'm sorry, I need to look something up here. Her voice is so familiar, and I need to know who this person is. She's been in Star Trek. I have a really weird ear for Star Trek characters, because if you play just about any video game made ever that has voice acting, you're probably going to hear actors from Star Trek. And obviously I don't mean like the big ones, although there's a few of those too. I mean, you're going to hear actors where it's like, that person sounds familiar. Oh my god, it was such and such, you know. Yep, I knew I heard her from something. You remember the DS9 episode where the guy comes through saying, you know, I am the emissary? And there's this one woman who basically leaves the military because she has been advised to do so to go back to the caste system. You remember that? That's her. And I just watched that episode like a month ago, so that's why it's in my head. So, I am going to kill the crap out of Moira, but it's okay. I will do your job for you, lady.
I think that will be more difficult than it seems, but yes, it is no easy task. But all I have seen and heard tells me you are the one for the job.
It is for the honor of the Watch. If those killers get away with what was done last night, then any one of us could be next.
Cormac speaks truly. Moya and her men must be dealt with, and the Watch can show no weakness. Steps must be taken.
No, she doesn't look at it like that. Look up Latara if you want to see the character. Alright, what must I do?
We cannot attack Moya's gang directly.
Why not?
So we must target their operations instead. Bleed them of gold and men until they have nothing left. The situation at the docks is in danger of becoming worse. What was at first opposition from Moya and her gang is threatening to become all-out war. I had thought they would not risk drawing blades against us in the streets, but through our informants, we've discovered that they are actually smuggling in a cache of weapons to do just that. They're planning for a fight. And if the reports on the number of weapons coming in are true, then the Watch will quickly be outmatched.
Okay.
Stop the shipment and put an end to the smuggling for good.
You are the only one we can trust for the job. Many of the Watch in the Docks district tend to turn a blind eye when coin is involved.
And they should be rounded up as well.
One problem at a time, Cormac. By the time we've dealt with the smuggling, perhaps then the costs of the Neverwinter reconstruction will be reduced, which should allow us to pay watchmen their rightful salary.
Oh, indeed. Because it is the lack of coin, not loyalty. That is the problem. Is that it? Maybe your eyes are blinded by coin too, Captain?
You are the short-sighted one, and your blindness is that of a stubborn mule. This is not a black and white matter, Cormac. The docks are the only revenue source from trade we have. We cannot even patrol the roads for merchants to feel safe. So we need every watchman, even if only as a presence there.
We do not need those scarecrows. Those turncloaks are boils on Neverwinter's name, and they'll give every thief in the city an open door to our throat. If we allow them to become any more blind for every gold coin, we might as well throw down weapons now.
And what do you propose, Cormac? With the funds being diverted to reconstruction, the pittance a watchman makes is temptation for anyone to look for gold elsewhere. We must make do until reconstruction is finished, no matter what it takes.
So yeah, you'll notice how Cormac is suddenly being lawful, basically. Or at the very least, lawful stupid. But it's also weird, especially since she is being incredibly reasonable. Not that I'm aware of Rockhound, no. She sounds similar, but I looked it up. And that's not her. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Cormac is completely in the wrong here. Now, in the interest of total honesty, what the guards should probably do is strike under these circumstances. I'm serious, by the way. Because right now, as she just adequately thinks, and I mentioned this earlier, the guards are getting paid jack. And several people have said this. At least I think Dream Whisperer just mentioned this in chat. You know, I have said this many, many times. Rule 1 of running any kind of organization, be it a city-state, or a nation. Pay your army. Pay it on time. Pay it well. So, this is fun. Anyways, I'm going to agree with her because she's right.
They are bold enough, and no false show of force is going to stop them now.
Silence, Cormac. Enough of this. I think we can at least agree on who should tackle this matter. Lieutenant, you have proven yourself to us, and you have done so at great personal risk, as you are no doubt marked for death by Moya and her gang.
Well, I'll go find her, drag her through the streets by her hair. I've been told I'm a weird player in D&D, because I'll do things like that for real. I will disable a character, and then grab them by their hair, and drag them all the way through the city, back to the watch, and just clunk. And the whole time she's screaming. You ever been dragged by her hair? It hurts like hell. Drag, 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 drag. Anytime she does anything, subdual damage. Okay. Drag, 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 fling. Got a present for you.
Excellent. Now, I cannot say it won't be dangerous, but stopping this operation may come with benefits. Whatever you confiscate from the smuggled goods can be used to build up the presence of the Watch in the Docks district.
And any watchman found aiding these thugs should be dealt with. We need no division in our ranks.
The smuggling operation is your assignment, Lieutenant. I want that dealt with. Once the smugglers at the docks have been brought to justice, I think we will need to fear little in the way of future bribery attempts. Although there are times when bribery can work to our advantage as well.
Our informant left word that the shipment will be smuggled through the back alley in the docks. We need you to go in and stop the weapons from reaching their destination.
Be careful once you're in. The back alley is infested with petty criminals and alley bashers. Now hurry! That shipment must be stopped.
Oh, by the way, you're welcome for the informant that I flipped for you. Jesus. Judge Dredd would work quite well for Faerun, I'm just saying. There are quite a few people who'd be like, yeah, he's got the right idea. That man, he's doing... Hi, Nasher.
My Lord Nasher, I came as soon as I received your summons.
Ah, Sir Naval. We were just speaking of you. These men are from the Trade Guild, and I was telling them of the Watch's successes at the docks. And they were about to tell me of their renewed efforts to ensure new ships in the harbor this season, to compensate for the loss of overland travel.
The season has been a lean one for Neverwinter, my lord. The citizens will be pleased to see more ships in the harbor and the cargo they bring.
Quite right. Thank you for your efforts, Sir Naval. Congratulations are in order for you and the Nine.
My Lord Nasher, I shall pass along your praise to the Watch. I believe much of their recent success is the result of our new recruits.
So be it, Naval. After the war with Luskan and the Plague, it is good we can finally turn our attention to where it belongs, and the certain matter of back taxes owed at the harbor.
Of course, my Lord Nasher. With your leave, I will return to my duties.
You may go, Naval.
God, I want to stab him so hard. I'm just going to tell you right now, there's no option to kill
Guild
him.
and I have much to discuss.
I really wish there was an option to kill Lord Nasher. I really do. I mean, obviously there's technically an option if you choose the evil ending, but that doesn't really count. It also precludes Mask. Mask from happening. Who voices Nasher? Hang on. See? I knew at least someone thought that way, Enigma. I was actually mentioning that earlier when it came to the early parts of the film. In fact, I think Carbon agrees with you on that one. I'll keep looking on the voice actor once I get to another cutscene. Oh, here it is. Greg Martin. Duh. Who the hell's Greg Martin? He's apparently on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as a student. I have no idea who this guy is. Whatever. Apparently that's Greg Martin, whoever that is. Yes, Codex. Yes. 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 Have you bought it already? I'm sorry. It is really legitimately an excellent game, I think. And nowadays you can't get it without the expansions, I don't think. Like, I just bought Neverwinter Nights 2, and I got Mask and Storms and Mysteries all with it. That's what I thought. Okay. What'd you like about Storms of Zehir, if you don't mind my asking? You know, I've never seen anyone speedrun Neverwinter Nights 2. Oh, hello.
We came at once when we received your summons, Lord Garius. At such distances, I did not realize your aspect could...
Shadows grant many gifts, Torio. But time is short, and the longer we speak, the greater the chance of detection. Torio informed me of your troubles in infiltrating Black Lake Lawn, so I am sending assistance.
Has she?
The Sea Ghost sails from Luskan to the docks of Neverwinter, carrying allies of our cause.
Allies, my lord?
Yes. I have dispatched agents to assist your infiltration of Black Lake, Torio. Unless you disagree.
Not at all. But I had hoped for the chance to see to the matter personally, without...
I only need more time, my lord. I will find a way past Black Lake's walls.
No, Lorne. You will be needed elsewhere to deliver a message for me to our other allies to the east.
I could spare one of the Circle of Blades, my lord. They are eager for work, both in infiltrating Black Lake or sending word to the orcs.
No, it is not an assassination I need, Lorne. Only your presence. You will be escorting some of our priest allies, who, like the orcs, require a more personal touch.
We are sending the shadow priests to Old Owlwell?
As for you, Torio, watch for the Sea Ghost. I shall be in contact with you shortly before its arrival.
So first of all, that now means Mr. Garius has officially had more scenes than Malgrim did. That's counting the expansion, by the way. An addendum to that, you'll notice how... Well, okay, I don't want to say you'll notice because we haven't gotten there yet, but as we'll find out later on, Lorne and Torio both actually have more characterization than all of the three primary, obvious villains from Neverwinter Nights 1 combined. Oh no, they're chasing me, run! No, run! Run away! Run away! Run away! Run away! Run away! God damn it, the Gwatch is fighting them. Whatever. I just wanted them to die horribly. God, I love knockdown in this game. Now, I actually mentioned this already, but since Dakoida's here, I want to reiterate this. I do think the spell effects are a little bit lacking in this one, compared to, Neverwinter Nights 1. And I can make that point with a simple spell. This is Meteor Swarm. That both looks and sounds boring. I showed off Meteor Swarm back in Neverwinter Nights 1. That was far more interesting.
You're gonna talk your way out of this one, Wolf. This is our territory, and your little army of beggar children has to pay its due.
Us kids are just sticking together, trying to make a living. But we don't bow to no one.
You're going to work for us now, boy.
Please, Da, don't beat me. I promise I won't drop the basket again.
What?
I try my best, honest I do. Just don't beat me like Emma. She can barely walk on that leg now.
Look at the poor boy. Someone ought to...
It's not like that at all. This boy is he's a thief.
Poor Emma can barely walk. Priestess of Chantia says she'll always have a limp.
It's so sad. She loved to run, but she broke a pot. And you don't do that in our household. No, sir.
It's really not like that at all. He's playing you all for fools.
I'm not going to stand by and watch you hurt this child. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
We'll talk again, Wolf. This isn't over.
That's right. You run. Are you all right, lad?
I'll be fine thanks to you, kind strangers. Especially you.
You're welcome. I don't think I can talk to him yet. Yep, I'm right. Okay, that's cool. Just wait, I'm going this way too. Ooh. Poor Emma. She exists, maybe. She doesn't, actually. She used to, but then, let's try that again. Nope. See, I can't snap with my left finger. I can do it with my right finger. But, of course, the right finger doesn't wipe out half of reality, so, you know. You've been most helpful, Watchman. Consider this gold a gift from friends, to show our appreciation for all your hard work. We're just doing our duty, keeping the peace. That's what I like to hear. Remember, let no one pass. It's for their own protection. Stop right there. Oh, sorry, I didn't notice the uniform. Yeah, hey, what's up? I'm doing a sweep through the alley. Things are just fine. We won't be needing any extra watchmen tonight. Why don't you go somewhere to relax for your shift? We won't say anything. I mean, that's very kind of you, but I have things to take care of here. Look, I'm trying to be nice here. We don't need you. I'm sure Cormac or Berlanek have other duties for you. We're on the same side, remember? Which is why I'm trying to keep you out of trouble. Now get out of here. So... what do you think? How do we deal with these people? Yeah, no kidding, Dakota. Detect Evil is... I've actually legitimately house ruled that Detect Evil doesn't exist before in some of my games. Not just because of the whole, you know, get rid of alignments thing, but because Detect Evil is kind of a judgment call, isn't it? Right? It's okay. Hang on. There we go. Universe is fine. Universe is fine. I keep wanting to say Plady instead of Platty. Like, for example, and let me ask you a direct question. I mentioned Star Trek Deep Space Nine earlier. Is Benjamin Sisko evil? Now, I know what you're thinking. Of course he's not. Even ignoring In the Pale Moonlight, which is the most obvious example, there are plenty of times when Sisko does evil actions, knowingly and willingly. And he is more than willing and capable of maneuvering or manipulating or coercing others through blackmail or bribery in order to do what he wants. Does that qualify as evil? And you can kind of see the problem immediately, right? Because in universe, if Sisko was just shifted over into Forgotten Realms, someone would have the literal ability to cast Detect Evil on Sisko. And they'd have to get an answer. Now, the way I've always ruled this as GM is that when you cast Detect Evil, you don't get like the absolute truth of what they are. Instead, you get a version of that truth based on who your deity is. So if you are a follower of, say, Tyr, then you would get a different response than if you're a follower of Helm, or if you're a follower of, Mystra, or whatever, right? That would, in other words, that would color the response, because the idea here, at least the way I've always thought it, is when you do any of those kind of divination spells, you're effectively polling your deity, and then you're getting their version of events. Make sense? That's just my take on that, because it's the only one that makes sense. Otherwise, it's just the caster's deity, to be more specific. Kind of like a Loa. Yeah, exactly, Papa Neeks. I'm going to say, great Loa, tell me, what should I think of this person? Because, yeah, I could see Tyr look at that and be like, yeah, no, Sisko's evil. But someone like Helm would probably actually be like, no, he's not evil. And there's other variances there, too. Anyways, so... I'll be nice. You let me through. No one will know you were involved. Those thieves didn't pay us enough to risk our lives, and I'm not about to stand in the way of our own. Be quiet before you get us any more trouble. Alright, go in. It's on your neck. Thank you. Is Merkel evil? Yes! 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 Merkel is among the most evil, and that is really saying something. Alright, let's go ahead and get some actual death going on here. just walk around with a group of 10 paladins. Everyone group up a bit more. There we go. There we go. A killing we will go. A killing we will go. Well, I'm not sure what Shantia would do, but yeah, that's the general idea. I also personally have always liked the idea of basically a gradient of evil. For example, again, going back to the...
It looks as if there are 2 packs before us, and 1 pack looks to be members of the Watch.
Those Watch. Moya must have gotten her hooks into them. Look, those turncoats are even keeping company with dock rats.
They're just going where the money is. If you're going to risk your life, do it for the highest pay you can get.
I mean, sometimes you have to do what you can to survive.
Someone here sees the big picture instead of the dwarven view.
Ha! Traitors! They're lower than the foulest of demons. At least your kind don't pretend to be anything else.
My kind? I could say the same thing.
The 2 of you, quiet down. You're going to attract attention.
Love these 2. I really do. Interesting, Eingrod. That feels like it's deliberately misinformative, which then begs the question, how many people know how inaccurate that spell is? Ooh, isn't it a good, Larian? Have you tried it yet? I know, right? Okay. I know, Baronessa. Like, this is basically straight up the Lord of the Rings, right? You know, Legolas and Gimli. Basically blood brothers. Or I guess the opposite of blood brothers, but you know what I mean. Brothers through shedding of blood rather than through lineage of blood. There we go. But, yeah, anyways, I'm not sure which one I want to go with here. Let's go with this one.
That's more like it. A little skull cracking will get the heart pumping again.
Fine. Forget subtlety. Forget style. Let's just keep it simple. Just like Kelgar. All right? Let's do this.
Very well, but my powers may not be of much use. I will do what I can.
Eleni, you're literally a straight-up healer. So yeah, we've got a point with Nishka and a point with Kelgar out of that, which is pretty much exactly what I wanted. Let's do this correctly this time. Actually, hang on. I want to be funny.
Yes.
Hang on. I really want to set this up because, by God.
Everybody, follow me!
Yeah?
Yes.
You have need of me?
Hey, guys. Oh my God, enemies. No, don't kill me. Okay, that satisfied me. I'll agree with that. You can have the rest. You cast Nuke Them to Hell. It was super effective. Nah, that was a spare, I'll admit it. Oh, you're with the Watch. We're not looking at any trouble with you. Who are you looking for trouble with? Can't you find someone else to target? We're busy here. I'm just saying, maybe we could help each other out. Fine, if we'll get you off our backs. We hear Moyer's gang is trying to smuggle in some weapons tonight. Word is she's planning a street war with you, Watchhounds. We can't let that happen. She drowned the dogs in blood, so we're here to make sure the shipment never gets to her. Oh my God, is this reasonable thieves? And thugs and brigands? Honestly, guys, I could literally kill every single one of you with a wave of my hand. Go home. I just got more good points. There are other friends looking to grab those weapons, and I don't think they'll be as reasonable. Thanks for the warning. Come on, we're leaving this to the Watchhounds. Let's go. I mean, you gotta understand that these people are going out of the way to endanger their own lives for the sole and express purpose of preventing a war from hitting the streets. That's saying something. Like, that's actually legitimately impressive. There's one advantage to Meteor Swarm. It has a hell of a range. But it's still way too random. As you can see, I only killed like 3 guys with that. That is literally my job, Papaneeks. Help people, kill people, raise people. And then you turn it again. You start helping people again. Kara would be like, you can do what? Hey, look, there's some city watchmen. Step aside. Well, we don't want to hurt a fellow watchman. You're actually helping Moira smuggle weapons in. Who's to say the docks would be worse off in her control? Besides, she pays better than the city. Okay. Okay. You're a moron! Like, there's like one nugget of something barely intelligible in what you just said. That actually stalled me for a second, because how stupid that is. Those weapons are going to be used against you, too, right? Oh, against you, maybe, but only if you're fool enough to stand against her. Huh. I'm going to give you one last chance to let me confiscate those weapons. Looks like we're earning our pay tonight after all. Make sure there are no survivors. You heard the man. No survivors. And just for humor value, Ray's dead. I'm going to pretend that's the guard I just talked to. So that's that. We taking the wagon back to the watch? Yeah, let's get going. Wait a minute. I mean, we could have found the wagon already looted and the weapons nowhere to be found. I know this fence where we could get a good rate. It could be worth our while. And what? The weapons find their way back to the same cutthroats? Oh, that's a fine idea. Look, whatever you decide, make it quick. The longer we argue, the easier it'll be for our enemies to find us. Let's go with 2. So we can argue lawful, it is our duty. Morality, if we don't return it, we're no better than them. Self-interest, if a few weapons get misplaced, no one is the wiser. And straight up evil. I say we take what we want. And of course I lost influence with Nishka. Jesus Christ. I'm going to have to just cheat Nishka's influence by playing a good character. I have gotten her at max influence without cheating, while playing a good character many times, but I don't remember how for the life of me. I think we're at like -5 right now. Only when I'm feeling particularly theatrical, Papaneeks. Do you fear death? Do you fear that dark abyss? All your misdeeds laid bare. All your sins punished. Can offer you an escape. Yeah, I suppose I could just go ahead and bring Nishka and like Elena or no, Nishka, Sand, and Grobnar, and that way it'd be easier to just agree with Nishka a lot. Maybe that's how I did it. I don't know. Anyways, I'm looking up something. Give me a second. I just want to see what my influences with her, and I forgot the command to pull that up.
Yes.
You have need of me?
I mean, we might just cheat the influence up anyways, if we need to, because we literally get more content for doing so. Influence. Okay, so let's see what Nishka's at. 3! Oh, wow, that is much higher than I thought. Oh, there we go. Sorry. There was just something in the wind. It's strange. I'm curious where we're at with Kelgar. 1? 1? What about Eleni? 6! And what about Kara? No, Kara. 3. And with Sand, we have 0. Let's just, there we go. Let's just, deal with that really quick there. I'm not going to raise Eleni's because I don't want her to suddenly decide that I'm her boyfriend without my consent.
Lieutenant, what have you to report?
They're all super dead. My God.
It is as we suspected. Our informant was correct.
I will need you to report to the meeting point at once and deal with those who were intended to receive the shipment. I suspect they will be much easier to handle without the weapons they were meant to pick up. But be cautious. I also want you to keep an eye out for anything there that might shed more light on their smuggling operations. We've shut down one smuggling route, but they must have others. Fortune to you, Lieutenant, and see to it these men are dealt with.
Jonathan Humanfoot. I mean, yeah. Although, the equivalent of Deacon's name would be like Skin Singer or something like that. But anyways, Skin Singer. That just sounds messed up, doesn't it? Although, in fairness, there is one other RPG of a type like this where someone just abstractly decides that I'm their boyfriend. Dragon Age 2. Excuse me. So now I must go and launch an attack against the warehouse. For free. Yeah. Honestly, the Anders one pisses me off the most. But that's also because I liked, past tense, Anders as a character. Whereas, and also Anders was deliberately designed that way, too. I'll never forget that interview. The NPCs should get to decide if they're in a relationship, not just the PCs. Whoop, we have debug mode on. Let's turn that off. There we go. Yeah, I mean Vengeance. Let's call him his real name, shall we? Or if I wanted to get really cheeky, I'd call him What's-Her-Face, but I can't actually remember her name, so I can't make the joke right now. You'd think so, Takoida. Like, I'm actually kind of down with the idea of an NPC basically deciding they want to be in a relationship with you. And asking, instead of just checking the flag, and all of a sudden Sonic Doctor is in a relationship with Sekiro. Like, that's just weird, right? Yeah, the elf, Django, that's what I'm referencing. I like how we both know who we're talking about, despite the fact that we're just saying the elf. Valana, that's it. Thank you, Sonic. As ever, much appreciated. I knew it, Sonic! Oh, hey, a bunch of guys. What's up? How is life? Too soon? It's really saying something that in a BioWare game, where usually the more acerbic or unusual characters have their chance to be fleshed out more, or made more interesting, Valana just becomes barely tolerable if you do her story arc. That's just saying something. Oh yeah, by the way, this is actually probably the hardest dungeon we've done so far. And I mean that sincerely. Many times when I've done this as a mage type, it's been basically go in, clear a room, back up, or actually leave the warehouse and rest in order to go back in. Basically slowing my way through here, because this place can be pretty rough. From me to you, with love. Adding what, Baronessa? You can do it, Mihawk. Honestly, I can't even advise you on a build in Divinity Original Sin 2. Because, there's quite a few viable builds in DOS 2. Although I will say this, I would recommend you try to specialize heavily into whatever it is you're going to. And then basically using your party to make up for your lack. In my experience, trying to play a catch-all doesn't work as well in DOS 2. Goodbye. I'm sorry, is what recognized cosmologically? Other than me killing all these people with fire. You forgot the wall, by the way, Baronessa, for most horrible things. Oh, that! Wow, that's horrible. Why did you remind me of that? Why? No, I have not done a Witcher lore run. Sorry, I thought I answered that. I do plan to do a Witcher 3 lore run, probably later this year, if I'm being honest. Honestly, I know this is kind of a joke. It's almost a meme status that, you know, mages just use Fireball, Fireball, Fireball. But the problem is, Fireball really is an almost universally useful spell. And that's true in tabletop, too, not just in the video games. Fireball hits a fairly decent area. You can get it relatively early. It does enough damage that it's still useful into higher levels. And, it's pretty easy to cast. It doesn't take a long time to cast. It's pretty hard to avoid. In fact, unless you have the right talent, you cannot avoid damage entirely at all. Etc., etc., etc. Like, it is a legitimately useful spell. It's kind of like Metal Blades over in Mega Man 2. They're often used because they're just that useful. Goodbye! Hang on a second, I'm sorry. I don't know if this is bothering anyone else, but this has been getting a little bit bad lately, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that up, fix that problem, and... it's not working. Well, that might explain it. It's so dark. I have Bloom off. I could turn the Bloom back on. Sure, we'll turn Bloom on. Maybe that'll help make it a little bit brighter. That looks weird. Interesting, Mihawk.
Time for a little fun.
I'm sorry, I feel like I'm missing Papa Neeks. Like, I don't know where Papa Neeks is, but I miss him. It's been a long time since Papa Neeks. But fortunately, he's awesome. So noted for Spider-Man DLC. Thank you very, very much, Papa Neeks. Much appreciated, man. Yeah, I was actually thinking the same thing, Takoida. The lighting engine is better, like universally better in this game. It's just, as Takoida says, much worse applied. By the way, there's a ton of loot in here. If you do not have a lot of gold by this point of the game, you will by the time you go through here, assuming you loot everything, and you really should. Anyway, so Fiendish, I feel like I'm missing the first part of your conversation there. Like you mentioned, is worship something that's universally understood? I don't get that. I confess my stupidity. Ah, that could be it, Dakota. Where have I not been? Oh. Right there, apparently. Back we go. You know, I've debated that many times over the years, Enigma. Because it's worth noting, I like Nana Visitor. I think she's good. I think she does a good job with her role. In fact, if anything, I think the only thing Nana Visitor does not do well is the angry Kira. But when she's playing the various other forms of Kira, I think she does a very good job of it.
What are you looking for? We've cleaned the place out already. Can't you just call some of your watch friends over to search the place?
Oh, no. I've got a warehouse full of who knows what here, with no guards. I'm gonna see if there's anything I can help myself to.
Have fun. Let me know what you find.
You know I will. Don't worry. I'll try not to get too greedy.
I don't know what you see in her. She's nothing but trouble.
She's earned my trust, and she should have yours too.
Well, I trust you to do the right thing, but not her. So, what are you looking at there anyhow?
Intelligence. I mean...
Your guess is as good as mine. I say take it to your Captain Berlena and let her deal with it.
Yeah, I hope the watch can make use of these.
Not as much to pick through as I thought there would be. Here. I did find something for you, though.
Oh, well, thank you.
Just looking out for you. And besides, we could always sell it if you can't use it. I found a little something for myself, too. Nice blade, don't you think?
I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
With the trouble we've been getting into, this will definitely come in handy. You ready to go yet? I'm done picking through this place.
Sure. That's part of why I like Nishka, by the way. I tend to like people who, actually do care about others, even if they, are Nishka. I haven't cast this in a bit. Gee, I don't know, Sonic.
Nature will have its say.
Let's see what happens here. Hey guys, can you make a will save? No. Hey, 500 gold. Woo! So... the reason this reminds you of Dragon Age 2 Origins, and we've actually talked about this many times, Sonic, but I know you just showed up. In many ways, Dragon Age Origins and this are fairly similar games in terms of writing approach, in terms of level design, and in terms of approach to the gameplay, and blah, 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 blah. So... we know at least some of the development of this game bled over to Dragon Age Origins. We know some of the people who helped work on this game worked on Dragon Age Origins. We don't have, like, an exact list of which people did what and which people worked on what and blah, 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 but we do know that there is some bleed over. And funnily enough, there's also some bleed over from Baldur's Gate 2 into this, and then into Dragon Age Origins. Anyways, so, is it recognized whether someone worships a deity because of the deity of the community, and someone who chose the deity by the...
And I want the archers to secure the perimeter. The rest of us will split up into 3 squads.
So basically, Fiendish, in the City of Judgment, they actually have the capacity to effectively know the truth. So, for example, if you say, I worship Timora, those who judge you in the City of Judgment can look at you and say, no, you don't. You worship what your town told you to worship. Therefore, you do not ardently follow Timora. And they can judge you false for that, if they choose to. Make sense? They will be able to literally read your soul and determine what they consider to be the truth. It is not, however, to be confused with what I call the concept of absolute truth, because that concept does not exist in Forgotten Realms, and most fictional settings, and probably in real life, too. But anyways. So what happened to them? Oh, they're all over the place now, Sonic. I mean, so many of the people who worked on all 3 of the games I just mentioned have just scattered to the winds. If you are false, you do not necessarily go to the wall. In fact, you usually don't go to the wall. You just get tortured for forever, or you get destroyed, or you get sent to a subservient place, or whatever. Or maybe they might be nice to you, and they might send you just to a similar plane. False doesn't have a guaranteed thing. If you are faithful, you're sent to the home plane of your deity. If you're faithless, you're sent to the wall. If you're false, that's case by case. And they never actually decide You know, there's no set rules when it comes to false. Damn right I would, Sonic. I've already had a list that I've been making over the years. No, really. I mean, if I ever won the lottery, I would pull that list out and be like, so! But anyways, moving on. Need any help?
The City Watch. Commendable of Captain Berlena to send support, but we have things under control here.
Is that so? Well, guess we'll just stand back and watch then.
You're welcome to observe, of course, but I'd appreciate it if you'd stay out of the way. This operation requires careful coordination, and you haven't had the training these men have.
So Avalon, I don't think Avalon is the best writer ever. Let me just start with that. Because I know several people think he's the best writer ever. But I do like Avalon as a writer, and I would love to have him in the writing room, yes. He's definitely someone I would at least want, you know, in the room. You know, all these people kind of grouped together, tossing out ideas, hashing out things, writing out sections, rewriting other people's sections. You know, a proper writing room. I'm not Santa Claus. I'm the Lich King. I'm sorry. I just suddenly pictured what that would look like. The Lich Claus? Santa King? Anyways, can I ask what you're here for?
This is a delicate matter that has attracted the attention of Lord Nasher himself. I'm sorry, that sounded rather pompous, didn't it?
That's why I'm willing to give this guy a pass, by the way. Saint Lich, I like that. Because this guy, he's a little bit uppity, but not really. He is a little bit elitist, but not to the extent of being ridiculous. And he is a bit of a snob, but not to the point of being abrasive. That's irritating, but he is so much better than most of the people in the setting, especially people in a position of power like he is. He is one of the 9, by the way, the Neverwinter 9. So, no need to apologies, none taken.
Good to see that the Watch can still find level-headed recruits. You seem sincere enough. We received word of weapons being smuggled into this district and have tracked down the distribution point to this warehouse. Lord Nasher has ordered us to confiscate the weapons and hopefully avoid a street war in the docks.
Well, I really hate to bother you, but I sent the weapons back to Captain Berlana.
What? When did this happen? We were told to expect strong opposition.
Basically, yeah, Enigma. Although, as Takoida points out, it could be he just has a sufficient bluff/charisma to be able to cover it up. But I will freely admit someone who is willing to be polite to me tends to get more of a pass than someone who is not, even if they're lying. Although someone who is polite and truthful, that's just the best of all worlds right there. Anyways, not that long ago, I was going to leave to report back to my post when I saw you.
Lord Nasher will be most pleased to hear the news. This should help the Watch's position at the next council meeting. I must confess that there are those of us who are beginning to question the competency of the Watch and its leadership. I see that I have been mistaken.
Damn right, Mr. Blum. I mean, I do hope this means the council will increase our pay. And I'm not saying that to be greedy, it's because it's a frickin' thing that needs to happen.
Wiser men than I have attempted to predict the council's actions. Your deeds here tonight will certainly earn more support for the Watch, however. You heard it, lads. The Watch has things under control here.
They all do this.
I know. Another evening of catering to the lords and ladies of court. I'd recommend that you enjoy the boredom of peace while you can. Thank you again.
Venters.
You've saved me a lot of trouble, and possibly the lives of many of my men. I shall report the good news to Lord Nasher right away.
I should explain the 9 briefly. They're not hard to explain, though. The 9 are a group of adventurers that Lord Nasher has assigned to him personally that basically have an actual measure of legal authority over Neverwinter, but effectively are basically just the hands of Nasher. Each one of them functions as bodyguards for Nasher and the other nobles, but their real purpose is to enact his will personally. That would sound awesome if Nasher had a brain, which he doesn't. But yes, you can actually join the prestige class of it under right circumstances, which I'm not sure why you'd want to, but whatever. Whoa, that was weird. Now that's an interesting question, Papaneeks. I think Forgotten Realms predates Game of Thrones by a couple decades, but I'm not actually sure. Like, I'm not 100% on that. So I'm not sure when Game of Thrones really became a thing. And by Game of Thrones, I of course mean Song of Fire and Ice. Hey.
Lieutenant, congratulations on your efforts at the warehouse. A great deal of gold and weapons were recovered. It is good that you were able to deal with the smugglers so quickly, for we have a new problem. Time is of the essence. One of our best informants, Phyllis, has been exposed. Even now, killers are hunting for him.
We can't afford to lose him. He has risked much to help Neverwinter over the years. If he dies, then we lose our best shot at taking back the docks. He cannot walk the streets without an escort, so he's hiding in his house here in the merchant quarter until we can send someone we trust, to get him and bring him back here.
You want me to do an escort mission?
We want you to go at once to his home in the merchant quarter and return him here safely. I have told him to expect no one but you and your companions.
The reason for this secrecy is to keep him safe from any turncoat watchman. What Phyllis knows can wound both groups, especially any watchman being paid by Moya.
We need you to leave without delay. Make haste and return him safely to us.
Okay. Oh god, Balverines! I actually do like that idea, admittedly, Dakota. Again, a little less permanent than what you were suggesting, but that's because that's a horrible, horrible fate for anyone to be befallen. Wait, it was... Hang on. Where are we going? Nope, sorry, it is actually in the merchant's estate. Where is this guy? There, that's Deacon. Not that I'm aware, Fiendish, no. Unless you count Ed Greenwood, but that's just being cheeky. Oh, there it is. God, I can see, I swear. God, you wouldn't believe that I'm basically moving as fast as I can without bugging the game right now. Remind me when I'm off camera to look up any speedrunning tricks to go even faster, because holy crap. Only if you were legitimately able to be more powerful than Ao could you do that. Or, you know, convince him. That would be the other way. Oh no, thugs! I will die! So the first time I ever played this game, this was actually the first time I died, like, overwhelmingly, was in this area. First time I played this game, I was playing a fighter. You know, like I said, I just started getting used to custom builds, like I mentioned earlier. And so I was playing a fighter, working my way towards Weapon Master. And I had been pretty cautious. And I had Eleni set up as... Yeah, by the way, you notice them walking towards me? That's because they're trying to sneak attack me. If you're wondering what's going on with that. They can literally one-shot you if they all manage to get a sneak attack off at the same time. Anyways, point being that this is the first time I just straight up died, because I just couldn't keep up with it, despite attempting to be cautious.
You will die!
No to both questions, Fiendish. You know, I'm not actually sure, Corrales, in the game. Yeah, but Ao approves the wall. Like, the general idea is anybody who wants to get rid of the wall is going to have to deal with Ao. That's just an unavoidable. Hi. Wow, some people made their saves. Well, yeah, but in the game, I'm not sure how they tabulate it. I can see people walking up to sneak attack me, but they still get the sneak attack. Even though I can literally see them coming. That's why I'm kind of like...
Prepare to be eviscerated, fool! No escape!
I do like how that looks, the Wail of the Banshee. It's not as cool as it looked back in, you know, the first game, obviously, but the implication is that they basically, enough blood bursts out of their brain as they have a violent aneurysm that they just kind of die on the spot. Here, watch. Cloud of red and dead. I mean, that could happen, Leander, because AO is AO. So yeah, basically, we'd have to convince AO the wall needs to go away, and we'd face opposition from several of the other deities as well. But if we manage to convince all of them, kill them all, you know, whatever it takes, then we could go ahead and get rid of the wall. By the way, this is a good time to mention that you cannot get rid of the wall in the game. It's not even an option. There are some varying accounts as to why. The actual Obsidian developers flat out said they didn't even try to begin to develop it. Like, they didn't even start work on that, because they assumed Wizards of the Coast would never allow them to. That is an assumption, and we will never actually know, but I have also heard some people say that Wizards of the Coast basically gave them a list of no-nos. Yeah, which makes sense, you know, basically, like, for example, if you wanted to write something in the Imperium, my own setting right now, I would say, okay, what do you want to do? And you'd say, well, I want to do this and this and this and this, and I'd be like, no, I won't let you do that. You know, it's not quite unreasonable since it's my setting, and I should have final say on that. However, I don't know if it's really on Wizards, or if it's on Obsidian. What I do know is that's Moira, finally. There's a price for betraying your own, and you will find it's a high... Hi! Hi. Hey, yeah, hi. I'm level 20. It's the other ones who've been causing me so much trouble. I thought the tales of a competent member of the Watch were just stories to scare my men. I am Moira, yes. My men have been insisting that you are the sole reason for my difficulties in the docks. It's been some time since I've killed someone in a fight. I've missed it. And here you are to make up for lost time. You know, I really hope you can fight as well as you can talk. I wish I could take my time with you, but I'm in a bit of a hurry. I wonder if she can make her will save. Let's find out. Roll will save. Nope. Down she goes. That was really satisfying. I've never had an issue with her, personally. She is nowhere near as hard as, like, the stuff leading up to her. Because she basically abandons any possibility of a sneak attack because she starts the conversation with a conversation. Or, she starts the encounter with a conversation. That's actually not a bad helmet. I'll go ahead and grab that. What do we got here? Anyways, so why do I think they wouldn't allow them? The first and most obvious answer is because the wall is simply too big of a thing, right? Like, they don't want to actually upset the status quo that big in a video game. So, you know, screw that, right? That's just my assumption. Bit of a shame since, you know. Yeah, anyways, moving on. Point being. Do liches exist within the Imperium? Yes, although they are not evil things. They are a form of undead, of which there are many. Oh, thank you for the intervention, but the danger's not yet over. You must get me to safety. Do you happen to have some place in mind? Yeah, Captain Belena. Moira may own the docks, but I doubt even she would have the manpower to launch an attack on the Watch. You realize Moira just died, right? Like, her brain exploded. there's still some red leaking out of what's left of her skull. She's gone, dude.
Oh, you've done well, Lieutenant. Phyllis is safely back under our protection. You are to be commended for your efforts on Neverwinter's behalf. Now that the matter is settled, perhaps we can turn our efforts to problems outside of Neverwinter's walls for once. The docks would not prove so important and tempting to thieves if trade routes around the mare were not so dangerous. And now, there is the matter of a missing emissary from Waterdeep.
Well, I happen to have a big thing for undeath myself, Enigma. But yeah, in the Imperium, undeath is not a neutral, good, bad, whatever thing. It's just a thing. It's effectively another variant on life. Now, real quick, I just want to mention something really quick here. This is something that Neverwinter Nights 2 has done pretty consistently well. Mask does this a bit too. And that's the you don't have to backtrack out of the dungeon thing. You'll notice that in almost every quest we've done, it's been like you either can walk through the dungeon to finish looting, or it's just you hit a dialogue option and then you're back at the next cutscene. And I do like that. It brings down the backtracking, which I'm in favor of, because backtracking, especially bad backtracking, is, in my opinion, bad, because it's pure padding. So, I just want to give praise for that, because they just did that again there. Anyways, what's going on with... I'm sorry, there's an emissary missing from Waterdeep?
There is nothing we can be certain about other than he has not yet arrived. For security reasons, Waterdeep failed to even tell us the route he would be taking. We suspected bandits at first, but scouts have been able to find no trace of an attack or ambush. At least those scouts who have returned. I'm concerned that he may have run afoul of the orc tribes that infest the region.
Old Owl Well, huh?
Usually the tribes offer ransom demands, yet no demands have been forthcoming, which leads me to suspect that they do not have him captive, but that could quickly change. So I need you to investigate the matter as soon as possible.
I mean, I'm literally going to be landed, Kelmorgan, so... So who's the emissary?
We don't know who Waterdeep sent specifically, but he'll be carrying documents proving his identity. He should have arrived a full week ago. I am concerned that he may have run afoul of the orc tribes that infest the region.
Orcs? Orcs, 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 orcs. So what if he's dead?
If you can find any sign of the Waterdeep emissary in Old Owl Well, then we would welcome news of his fate. We need the trade and diplomatic relations with Waterdeep, especially in these difficult times with Luskan. I have other matters to attend to. Return here when you've found the Waterdeep emissary, and we will speak more.
Yeah, I know, Django. There's no proper orcs here. Well, time to go to Old Owl Well. First, I want to do one other thing before we leave. I want you to picture, like, a sea of owls, right? It's like a moving, it's big, it's like a whole lake. It's a whole lake. And it's just a lake filled with owls going... And you just kind of dip a bucket through to pick up some owls. So we want to do a couple of things before we head out. I'm debating how much of Old Owl Well I even want to do today. It's kind of getting on. And Old Owl Well is pretty long of a section. Interesting, Mihawk. Kind of terrifying. What are they doing? I'm not even sure. Oh God, yes I do, Leander. Hey. Oh, by the nine hells we do. I'm looking to sign up. You wish to join the Disciples of Tyr? If that's what you call the skinny twigs who threw me out the window in the Dragon's Talon, then yes. Yeah, look, I'm sorry. Can you help, my friend? It is odd that any of the even-handed would seek out battle. Like most of our faith, they usually only respond when provoked, and rarely violently. Well, I may have stirred up a little bit, just a little. But that fight taught me some things, and I want to learn more. About our faith? No, 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 no. Fighting's the only religion for me. I want to learn to fight like them, and learn how they will be able to beat me so easily. If you were defeated, such a defeat must have been just. Tyr teaches us this. Your loss was meant to reveal the truth. The truth? The truth is they beat me like a half-clan whelp, and I want to know how they did it. If you seek to learn from your loss, you must discover why you were so easily defeated. I don't think you're hearing the words coming out of my mouth. That's why I'm here. To learn. But we cannot help you. Is that so? Well, maybe I'll help clean the floors in here with your face, if that'll change your mind. Wait, I'm sorry, what? Tyr puts all who come for him on trial. He judges who is worthy, and who is not. Alright, sounds fair to me. Tyr wants bears fighting for him, not mewling little cubs. So what's the trial? Burning coals, drinking contest, what? The path of Tyr is that of the maimed, the even-handed, and the just. Tell me about the trial of the maimed. The trial of the maimed requires the petitioner face those he has wounded, usually those of his bloodline or clan. Humph. I've never turned a blade against my clan. I haven't. Yes, I do, Morgan. If I knew where some of them were, you could even ask them. Only when one understands how their actions may hurt another, inadvertently or not, can you understand themselves. The trial of the even-handed requires that the petitioner learn to see all around them in an equal light without the trappings of prejudice. Prejudiced? I'm not prejudiced. Oh, by the 9 hells, I even travel with a backstabbing tiefling of all things, and you know how their kind are. It's one of the better lines in the game right there, by the way. Without such perspective, there can be no justice, for you have passed judgment before you even know those around you. How can you be made to see? Often the best way is to learn through those you travel with. When a petitioner understands someone he travels with, he will learn to see fairly others he meets for the first time. Alright, well, what about justice? To fight is not enough. To fight for a cause, that is where true strength lies. And by true strength, he means shotgun. When you fight for a higher purpose, something beyond the self, you will find that you gain strength through your actions and become impossible to defeat. Ugh, where do I meet these tests? I cannot answer that for you. Each petitioner is challenged depending on his or her own path, not at a moment of our choosing. All I know is that you have not yet faced these trials. They are yet to come. Ah, this is ridiculous. I've heard enough. Cast out a dwarf, will you? Who needs you? Very well. When you have faced the trials, then seek me out, Kelgar of Clan Ironfist. By the way, right now, Kelgar, he is actually fighting unarmed. Here, I'll show you. Here, check it out.
Yeah?
See? No weapon. Although he does have a shield equipped. Let's get rid of the shield. There we go. So, unarmed. He's basically a fighter monk right now. He just doesn't have the monk part of things. One moment. So we did that. We did that. You know, I'm not sure he did, Mahok. I like the idea too, Leander. As a GM, this is totally the type of thing that I would do. One moment, please. Okay. There we go.
Something you need?
How'd the meeting with the monks go, even though I was literally right there?
Go? They didn't seem to hear a word I was saying. I told them I was there to learn how to fight. They just threw back words in my face, and they got all quiet on me. I almost thought I might have to smash a few skulls to get my point across. But they weren't listening. I even shouted a few times, and after that, they just got silent. You humans have got some things to learn about dwarf home courtesy.
Maybe you could approach them with a little less violence.
They were just being stubborn and selfish, not worth my time.
But being a monk is not about physical strength and endurance. It's about thought, meditation.
It makes no sense. It's wordplay, riddles.
If I prove otherwise in the course of our travels, will you at least consider it?
Maybe. I'm not making any promises, but if you could make good on it, then I'll chew it over, yes.
Awesome.
All right, go on and ask them.
Who are you? It's just the weirdest option. Speaking of which, let's talk to her.
What's going on?
So...
Yeah? Which one of the marks you wanted to know about? Not the barrel-head dwarf, is it?
What about him?
Well, he needs to watch his tongue, or it's gonna run right out of his mouth and get stepped on. I mean, you did me a good turn. All I want to do is help out, and he's yelling at me like some old mule. I know he's short, and it's rough being in the big people's world. But he needs to stop being all defensive, especially for someone so small.
Right. I was actually talking about Eleni.
The tree worshiper? What about her? If you're asking if she has any money or valuables, then no. I already checked.
I was actually wondering of your opinion.
I don't know. She's got pointy ears, but doesn't smell of the lower planes. So she's probably not a tiefling. And she's too tall to be a halfling, and too thin. Plus, she hangs out with animals. So she's an elf. What do you expect me to say? She's one of those nature priests. Worship trees and the land, don't like cities, so don't have much traffic with her kind.
Yeah, that,
Questions. Go ahead. I'm all horns.
So you're a tiefling? I think that's actually all we've got right now.
Is there something you need?
Yeah, Hang on, I need to find
It is not a place where even the circle were willing to tread. It is not where you walk, so do they. You are either a threat or it is not. If there is something else you wish to ask, then do so. What did you wish to know?
Hang on.
Do you think this is the first lifetime I have spent in the mists of Mer Delane? My life in the Mare dates back several lifetimes. Many of my ancestors lie beneath its waters, and my ancestors were there when Mer Delane gained its human name, before there were even such tiny settlements as West Harbor and Redfallow's Watch.
Redfellow's Watch?
The name means nothing to you, does it? Of course not. The mare claimed it over 50 years ago in its slow march across the land, and before that was the event where it gained its human name. My people once called the mare Mer Delane, the slow tide or slow marching court, in the times before the wars of men gave it a new name, before humans settled on its shores, and those settlements are mostly gone now. Their manors and castles now ruins, desperately reaching their hands above the water. It is for all who dwell within cities that the land will take again what was taken from it, whether cut stone, carved wood, or fields sliced by the plow.
I mean, you know, right? 3,000 years, Crown Wars, ringing a bell?
No, for my father perished there in the fog, slain by orc soldiers from the mountains. It is his life that I speak of when I say lifetimes. On the year the swamp gained its new name, there was a great battle fought miles within its borders. Orcs spilling from the mountains drove humans, dwarves, and my people into the swamps, where they were surrounded, and cut down in the fog, trapped in mud where the footings of the orcs proved truer. But there were no need for graves. Their corpses were all embraced and dragged down, and what dead lay upon the surface were taken by the others who dwelled in the swamp. And so, even in the fog, the ghosts still whisper and weep of lost Mer Delane, the song taken up by countless elven widows that cry across its shores. And always, the mare seeks more dead to draw them down into its waters, down amongst the dead ones.
The dead outnumber the living, and we always will. Anyways, so there's Kelgar's quest.
Something you need?
Yeah, hang on.
Huh? What about it?
Okay. To learn how to fight, sometimes you have to learn how not to fight.
Huh? What? You like switching words around? That makes no sense at all.
No. Like, there's more to fighting than fighting.
It makes no sense. It's wordplay. Riddles.
No, like...
Huh? Maybe.
Damn it. Apparently I don't have enough influence or something to do the check, because I should be able to talk to him basically right now and try to do that. But it's not letting me. Yeah, that's what I thought. Black Lake is still closed. I mean, come on, look at this. This is how they have Black Lake closed. A couple of guards and a locked door. Do you know how easy it would be to get over this wall? Anyways. Yeah, let's do this really quick. Hello? I think we'll go ahead and cut off before we do Old Owlwell, because... Well, because Old Owlwell is long. Like, not insubstantially long. And I feel like that should be best tackled in its own section, you know what I mean? So we'll probably do Old Owlwell tomorrow. But I do think we have a couple other scenes here. Maybe that we should be able to get, because I feel like we should be able to get sand by now.
Like it,
As much as I praise this game, I don't know how I'd tolerate this game without Expeditious Retreat. Or being a monk. I'm trying to remember. I think it was my my Vow of Poverty monk, who by the end of the game, like by the time I got like level 12 or something like that, I had a standard move speed of I think 60 feet. Now that's pretty damn good, relatively speaking. Whoops, I'm going the right way. I'm going the right way. But regardless, I want you to just picture what that means, because in lore, that means while moving at a normal pace, my monk can travel 60 feet in 6 seconds. Hang on, I'm actually curious. Let's do some calculations here. Let's figure out how fast that is. So, give us a moment here. That doesn't seem right. Hang on. Thank you, Mihawk. I missed a digit. That was the problem. So yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, that's about 41 miles an hour, or 108 clicks per hour, which is fast. Now, I don't remember either, Corrales, but I swore I did it at least once. So I'm just going to try and see if he has anything for me. Hey, Sand.
Ah, well met again. And what can I help you with?
Jesus, Leander. What do you do here, Sand?
This is my alchemical shop. I make potions, charms, place small wards and enchantments on items.
That sounds like a no.
The docks are a little more to my taste than the merchant quarter. People tend to be more, well, honest in their dealings, less political, as it were. And trust me, finding space for a shop in the merchant quarter can be difficult and expensive.
Right. Well, thanks. Apparently I can't get you in my party yet, which sucks. Hey, Irrational Ginger. I know what you mean. I know it's not obvious, but this molar back here isn't there. I had to have that tooth pulled several years ago. So I feel you.
Yes.
Yes.
Something you need? Like who?
So what do you think of Nishka?
Well, that frail lass is one of the copper elves. Wood elves. They're a stone's throw more tolerable than some of the other kin, but she's still an elf. Their kind stood with the shield dwarves in the north, so I'll stand by her if need be. She needs to comb her hair, though, and put a little meat on that slim belly of hers. You'd think she was trying to be a tavern dancer with a belly like that. Huh, makes my stomach churn.
I think that may qualify as meeting the trial of the even-handed.
Huh? Not a bad idea. All right, go on and ask them.
I don't know either, Blackfell. It's actually why I'm hesitant to do so. I want to talk to...
What's going on?
Just checking something here. No, we're good. Does she have anything?
Is there something you need? The mare is no longer all it touched and without life. Such things are perhaps only by reaching beyond. What did you wish to know?
Hang on. I guess we'll wait on that.
Great. What's wrong now?
Nothing. Why are you fighting those students?
Why not? They're always talking about me behind my back at the academy, and I decided I wasn't going to take any more. I know more than they ever will about magic. They're simpering little girls who can't even levitate a fork if they wanted to.
I'm sorry, what do they talk about or behind your back about?
Oh, that I'm dangerous, that I act all superior, that I talk down to them. So what if I do? All they get from magic is what they read out of a book.
You do seem pretty dangerous.
Oh, is that so? Maybe you should join the dorm of the weaklings at the academy too. Well, if I hadn't burned it down. I mean, I know what power feels like rushing through me. They've barely sipped from the stream.
What does it feel like?
It's like this shiver that starts spreading through you. A warmth, like it's coming from your heart and your head all at once. And you feel that warmth get hot. So much so you think you can burn anything in your path, yet you'll only be brushed by it. I can't even explain it, but trust me, I know.
Okay.
Oh, I'll be ready. I'm looking forward to it, actually.
Yeah, if you ever wondered why stupid Sith are like the most common Force users by far, it's because people got a little bit of, you know, a taste of what it's like to use the Force, and they just became drunk with it. I've actually talked about that many times in my various Star Wars runs. But I do think I'm going to go ahead and chop off. I'm sorry, guys. I know it's a little bit early. Again, I am still rather tired, and I didn't actually get to bed early last night because I had a stream. I swear I'm going to bed early tonight. And I'm trying to get some rest. Tomorrow, we go see some orcs, some dwarves, some undead, and maybe a couple other things on the side. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. EST, as usual.